All right, so welcome everyone. My name is Antonio Borja. I'm the Director of School of Industrial Design here at Academy of Art University. Today we are very pleased to share with you some awesome work from our students. They've been working on these projects for the last 14 weeks. Believe it or not, their finals are actually next week, and they're here to present their projects to everyone, and we are excited to showcase their work today. We are going to have this a active event for all of you to participate. We will have the People's Choice Award that will be awarded to the project that you, the public, like the best. We'll be sending links out for that throughout the event via our chat window, as well as our in our YouTube comment section. You'll be able to vote there through a monkey or a Survey Monkey link. So look out for that. So without further ado, I will hand it over to our awesome host of the evening.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Spring Show.
Great to have you here. If you guys have questions, you can use the chat down below. Make sure that you click on attendees and panelists when you respond so everyone can see your questions or comments. We appreciate that. Well, we're waiting for a few more people to come in, I think. Let us know where you're from in the chat too while we wait for just one more minute and we'll get started here. Welcome, Bay Area. Thanks for saying hi. All right, let's go.
All right, without further ado, this evening's judges are brought to you with no expense spared by the management. I'll take the lead and introduce each of you one by one, and take a moment to say a little bit about yourself. Let's kick it off with Nicole from Level Design.
Hi everyone, excited to see the work today. I'm Nicole. I'm a graduate of the Academy of Art, and I run my own design studio in San Francisco called Level Design SF. We're an industrial design consultancy. Proud to be called number 3 on Fastco's list of most innovative companies this year. So, yeah, we're a young studio. We're doing some great work and love to hire some interns from the Academy someday.
Listen up, kiddos. You hear that? Opportunity is actually knocking right now. Next up is recent Moon Juice convert and Mr. Brisbane 5 times in a row, Mr. Mark Bollock. I guess I'll play the role of Mark this evening. Thanks, everybody. LA sucks. Okay, next up, Reese. Reese, are you here with us?
I am here. I apologize. My camera's not working, but I am here.
I've been waiting all this time to see your face, and this is what I get?
The picture's prettier anyways.
As always, Reese, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure thing. I'm a fellow alum of the Academy of Art, just like Nicole. I started my career in a transportation product studio with Jim Shook. Shortly after that, spent a lot of time at Ammunition. I produced a lot of headphones for a brand called Beats by Dre. And then from there, I was brought into Samsung to continue wearables and hearables. And I now lead that industrial design team at Samsung Design Innovation Center. And it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Reese, we couldn't be more stoked to see this still image of your face right now.
Sorry about that.
Next up is who Delve's social media team calls the Matt Bedman. So, the Matt Bedman, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, everybody. I am Matt Bedman. I am the design studio lead for Delve San Francisco. We're a little studio in San Francisco for a large firm that's based in Madison, Wisconsin. I'm focused mostly on medical and consumer in my career. I'm very excited to be here, and I'm very impressed that you all got here and are landing this a week before finals week. So congratulations to everybody who's presenting at this show, and I'm really impressed.
Thanks so much for joining us, Matt. While I do have it memorized, the pictures speak 1,000 words. Mr. Shin's with us from Subaru. Are you there? There he is.
Hi, everyone. My name is Shin Imai. I'm also a graduate of Academy of Art back in 2005, I guess. And I'm working as an expatriate of Subaru Research and Development in Orange County. And I've been a manager for a couple of years, and well, not much to say. I'm so excited to looking at students' work, and thank you for inviting me in this show.
Thanks for taking the time, Shin. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And to wrap up the judges panel, Alex is joining us from Volkswagen.
Yep, gotta find that mute button first, right? Hey everybody. Yeah, thanks for having me here. It's great. Yeah, I'm super happy to join this group here of people, of talented people, designers and students. I'm originally, as you probably can hear, from Germany. I've been doing industrial design for the last 20 years now, including automotive design. Jumped around a few different vehicle companies and product design companies, and now ultimately I'm working for the last 5 years here at 6 years at Volkswagen. We're a former design center in Santa Monica. But now we have been moving up here to the Silicon Valley to work on innovation projects. And I'm kind of working on the exterior, but it was more of like a holistic automotive design projects that we have here that go on the next level. So yeah, I'm super happy to be able to join. And look, I'm really excited to see the final work. Super excited. Thanks.
Well, even better, you're moving closer to our beautiful foggy weather at this time of year.
Yeah.
Well, next up is going to be the judging criteria. This is something to bear in mind for all of the judges paying attention at home or office or RV, wherever you might be. The focus tonight is going to be on the design process that the students are showing, how much innovation they're showing as far as the genesis of the project, how they did their best job for the visual communication side of the presentation. And for the last step, the design narrative. We're all storytellers here, so focus on the story. Is it compelling? Is it hot? Are the designs just sizzling? Or are there some hot renders to go along with that story? For our judging categories this evening, we're gonna have best product design. We're gonna have best transportation design. We're going to have the always crowd favorite People's Choice Award. And there's going to be a separate entity just related to the VW sponsorship, but we'll talk about that a little bit. But the big crowning achievement for the evening, of course, is the Edwin T. Meyer Design Competition for the most innovative design. That's the big money winner, so everybody keep your eyes out for the hottest for that.
It's more than fame.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead, John, I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say there's more than fame on the line. There's fortune as well with these scholarships.
Yeah, all the skrill. You can pay for those Copic markers.
Tonight, also for the People's Choice Award, you'll be able to go to a SurveyMonkey. I'm going to put that right in the chat right now. And you can vote for the best design or best presentation tonight. And we will tally up those winners and award that tonight after the show. So there's the link, and I'll put that out periodically as we go along tonight. But don't forget to vote. Thanks.
So keep your eyes on the chat. And what do you think, John? Time to start breaking into some presentations?
Let's do this. Yep.
Do the worm into it.
All right, let's start with NASA. So these are collaborative projects, small group projects. The first one, I believe, is Hive, if I'm not mistaken. And they're Astro B. Let's turn the time over to them.
Oh, hello. I'm your Astro B host, your virtual assistant here on the ISS. I'm a multifunctional robot with different personas. Here are two others you need to meet.
Ahoy, I am your Astro B quartermaster, but everyone just calls me Q.
And I am Dr. Watson. You can just call me Dr. Watson.
With Q or Dr. Watson, we can help you find items around the space station.
Q, could you locate the prime lens 50mm f1.0 for me?
You betcha. I've mapped it out on your tablet. Would you like to follow me to its location?
Yeah, on the tablet is fine. Thanks. That same augmented reality projection can be used to conduct the many guest science experiments happening up here in orbit.
Dr. Watson, what are the contents of Melfinel?
Allow me to project those details onto your work area.
Please live stream this to ground control.
Most certainly.
But more importantly, I'm happy to ease your anxiety and feelings of isolation for mental health maintenance too.
Astrobe, I'm feeling kind of claustrophobic.
I've listed some options to consider on your tablet, or perhaps a simple change of scenery would help.
Yeah, I haven't seen the forest in a while.
Conveniently, we're already in the Axiom module. Please enjoy the inland rainforest in British Columbia. Hello there. What is up? Oh, not really much, just floating. Hello, your Astrobe host again. So where did I come from? Tasked with redesigning my predecessor. Three designers, Jose, Vitalia, and Michael. From distant cities on Mother Earth set out to help astronauts time on the International Space Station and future missions on Gateway and beyond, using astronauts' experiences as basis for the design.
I miss my friends, and I miss nature. Le plus difficile, c'est que moi, j'ai une famille, je suis papa, j'ai 3 enfants, et je m'ennuie beaucoup d'eux. Donc, c'est ça qui est le plus difficile. J'aimerais ça pouvoir inviter les gens que j'aime pour venir me voir.
Это нету земли. И это на самом деле вот проблема, и психологическая проблема. Ты не видишь деревьев, ты не видишь рассвета, ты не видишь заката.
Let me guide you through their design process. From ideation sketches determining how they can minimize the number of fasteners in the form, developing a modern and user-friendly aesthetic, while adding to the existing features and capabilities of Astrobe. They conducted abundant remote discussions on their research findings and collaborative organization to human factor mockups. Many digital model iterations, all developing a thoughtful design into what I am now. Oh, I'm low on battery life. I will need to go charge up. Looking forward to helping you in orbit.
Awesome, thank you. That was awesome. Students, anyone have any questions for these students here? You can put them in the chat. And we'll be happy to relay those to them. All right.
I guess the Astrobe really does speak for itself.
Well,
and judges, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask any questions. The students are standing by.
I have a question. Just briefly describe kind of where your impetus was for this, where the starting point was. How did you decide that this was going to be the project that you were going to do?
Well, a lot of it started sort of looking at the research. So we researched what were some of the troubles that the astronauts were having at the time. So some of it were the noise. As you can see, at one point we put some background noise, and then we show how we're trying to solve it with noise cancellation, for instance. And so we were looking at some of those points and how really mental health is troubling them, which is also kind of why we showed some of those videos of them talking about their experiences. So I guess we kind of started there, and then we're looking for other solutions and how we could do it.
I think a lot of the driving force was also, like Jose mentioned, the mental health aspect, given the kind of the aspects that we're all suffering right now with COVID and isolation and everything. That was a lot of good kind of fodder for our research as well, something we're all experiencing, being isolated.
Yeah, that's for sure. There are a couple questions from the chat. One is, how did you come up with the form? And the other was, what are the vent details for?
So for the form, there's part of the video that talks about the vent details that we can show. But the form, basically, it was chosen because of its gentle appearance, also kind of friendly, to make contrast in the background of the ISS that has a lot of wires. And also because the form allows it to bump gently into the surfaces of the, that was the air part in the video. But basically it allows to bump gently into the surfaces of the delicate environment of the ISS. Instead of using cushioning bumpers, which is what the current Astro B uses in its form. They're using some bumpers so that it doesn't break the windows. Well, not as much break, but damage it. And so this form really allows for that to not have the need for that. Also, sorry. And also, it does have like some of the features, like the inner part has like a rounder edge, so that you can grip it easily. As well, if you want to push some of the emergency buttons, or just in general to move it around, that's part of what's the reasoning behind it.
Can you talk a little bit about the technology that this is based on, and if that had any way driven the form factor, the size, the proportions, and what was the model of the technology and the components?
The technology did drive a lot of the form factor in a lot of ways. Like Jose mentioned, the grip action. But in terms of the mental health aspects, we wanted to create a very simple, comfortable, and friendly looking shape. In terms of the internal technology, I know one aspect that we focused on a lot was having an adequate number of lenses to provide for the technology, like the projection, the augmented reality projection that we're proposing, as well as subsequent lenses for the computer vision, LiDAR, and just general spatial awareness for the free-floating robot to handle in the ISS.
All right, thank you. So that was Team Hive, NASA Hive. I'm saying that clearly so that you can remember it when you vote tonight on the People's Choice. So thank you, guys. Well done.
Thank you.
Andy, take the next one. You got it?
Absolutely. Next up is the Astro Mars project, where, I don't know about you, but as a hippie vegan, I'm always thinking about salad. And as an enormous Ancient Aliens fan, I'm always thinking about space. But people like me are in super luck because the Astro Mars team has got my solution and maybe yours.
Hi there. Hi. How's it going? We're Astro Mars, which stands for Modular Advanced Robotic System. The operator just sent me an alert. A seed in the habitat has started sprouting. Let's check it out. Wow, take a look at that. They've grown so well.
Hey, Daisy.
Good morning, Alex. Humans were meant to live among nature. Alex feels so relaxed whenever he's taking care of plants. Did you know that every habitat has more than 180 sensors? They're great for monitoring the growth and providing essentials for plants. With Astro Mars assistance, we can help make changes. In order to save astronauts time, we work with Mickey in the habitat. She is the ground controller on Earth, who manages the Lunar Gateway and habitat.
The astronauts leave to Earth, leaving Astro Mars alone to take over the main agricultural task.
Astro Mars helps automate the gateway and run experiments. Experimental plants need extra care, but they're capable of doing so much. They can replicate complex natural processes such as pollination, taking leaf samples, seeding, and transplanting.
Mickey, you forgot that I'm a master at trimming and harvesting too. Here is the secret to our magic gripper. It may look too small to be a gripper. However, it's nimble enough to weave its way through the plant jungle and reach its way to its target. Ta-da! Look, here's a tomato.
6 months later, the Astro Mars are growing fresh vegetables for making salads to welcome the astronauts back.
I also heard that we will go on a new adventure soon, maybe to the moon or Mars.
Excellent. Gardening in space. I see a lot of faces that have a lot of questions right now. Nicole, let's start with you. What's your input?
Can you talk more about the research that you did for the project?
Yeah, for sure. So originally we were looking at transportation, entertainment, and agriculture. After further research, we decided to focus more on agriculture just because we decided that drives future space missions. And so that's why we wanted to base our Astro Mars system on taking care of plants, taking care of the system, as well as adding nutrients, making sure that there isn't bacteria growing. And then it's also a system that can be operated with ground control from their home.
Can you talk about sort of the form factor and what drove a lot of the kind of shapes and technology that's inside, what the inspiration is there?
Yeah, for sure.
So we
did you want to go ahead, Sonia?
Yeah, sure. So we kind of, during the research, we kind of set up the key point we want to design the Astro Bee. The one is actually is a modular, because current Astro Bee, they kind of did in a modular way because they want to attach different scientist payload that to on the Astro Bee to do the science experiment. And also they want to evolve the Astro Bee design by the time, because sending the whole robot to the lunar gateway for the space mission might take really expensive for the cost. So they want to maybe send small part to upgrade that. So they kind of did that in the current robot, like they just put a different phone, like a more powerful phone on the robot. So we keep our modular in mind. So we're first thinking of how to stack the different payload together in different shapes. So like cube shape, cylinder shape, and later we found like the cube shape might be harder for another robot to interact with each other. For example, taking off the payload. So we start to grab a little bit like cylindrical shape. At the same time, it's safer to fly in the space because safety is a key in the space station. So in the cylinder shape, and we found like if we put a small segment payload and stacking them together, it's something that's really impossible because currently it's hard to build those so many things together as considering the maintenance issue. So we just consider put something together for the one design and think about to minimize the center body to be like connection part. Then we can put all the other joints together on for the payloads to snap on the Astro Bee. So on the front, Astro Bee is flying. It's like more like a round shape. So once it hits something, it doesn't really hurt. On the rear, it can have a square shape. So I will intend that part to put some like heavy duty payload, like a storage space or something. So that's kind of design intent for the shape. And also we really think about the proportion. The old Astro Bee propulsion system is about 12 by 12 inch and by 3 inch height. So that takes a lot of space. So right now we're using air to propulsion out through the convex surface. So that can mean make the propulsion module much smaller, like a fifth of the original design. So then we can use other space to put the camera, like a pass cam, purchase cam, and the navigation cam, or even the camera for video streaming on the Astro Bee.
Fair enough. And piggybacking on that, how did the gravity or lack of gravity sort of inform your overall design direction?
Yeah, for sure. So the gravity is kind of gripper is the thing that we consider the most, because traditional the robot gripper is huge and big, heavy duty, because it needs to overcome the gravity. So that's kind of we make the gripper small because there's no gravity on the space. So that gripper only just needs to apply a little pulling force, then the tomato or any things can be ripped off, and inside there is a blade to cut, like apply a higher torque to cut like stain. And also for the gravity, also another casing to influence on the propulsion module that Astro actually fly, because we kind of tend to want to keep the Astro fly slow in the space station, because slow is the first thing. It has to be safe, because Astro co-living with the astronaut. So our propulsion module can be propulsion air really slowly. Astro can fly slowly, but once it comes to its heavy payload, there's a mass over there. So you must need to like higher wind speed, propulsion also more powerful to pull those kind of heavier payload flying in space. So currently they cannot pull in like a payload more than like 20 kilograms, otherwise it just gets super slow. But right now we think about it can put in even like 100 kilogram payload in the space station. That has a potential to be doing that.
Yeah, 20 kilos is a lot of food anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, but they also want to put in others like scientist payload instead, not only in the payload on the plant habitat. So many other scientists want to research on the zero gravity, so they can do more on that too.
Sounds great. Are there any other questions? For the MARS, the Mars? All right, thanks, Sodium and team.
Yeah, let's
thank you guys.
All right, now next we're going to bring it back to Earth a little bit with Delve Breathe is the first one with Heidi. Yes.
And it's Ian Liao. You can call me Heidi. This project, I cooperate with Dove to design a new concept teardrop trailer. Are you tired of busy cities and the endless work? Do you want to run away for 1 or 2 days just to relax and immerse yourself into the natural with style? Allow me to introduce Breathe. This teardrop trailer gives city dwellers a breather from the hustle bustle of city life, emerging into natural from inside to outside. Its open kitchen allows you to have a cup of coffee and enjoy some quality time with a loved one. At night, indulge your imagination and release your emotions into the magical and mysterious world of Mother Nature. With Breathe adjustable pad, you can easily move it to fit your need. For material, I use black aluminum frame to create an integrated 3D line read to outline the shape. And to decrease heavy industrial style, I use teak stacks to suffer the ambience. LED wall light not only to create the ambient feeling, but keep your own safety when you leave the trailer at night. Last but not least, smart glass, also called PTLC glass, can adjust the transparency of the glass. In the morning, it's like normal glass. At night, you can switch it to solid color to keep your privacy while you're sleeping. Detail is everything. This words also apply to Breathe. On the side, it has fans interlocked with PTLC glass to control the natural lighting. Hidden wall drawers and mirror always make your living area and yourself clean and tidy. Simple and elegant built-in kitchen provides you a wonderful cooking experience. Or underground storage to keep all your bigger belongings. Pause from your daily routine. Take a rest. Breathe.
All right. Sounds. I feel more relaxed just watching that, and the music and her voice was great. Thank you very much, Heidi. Any questions for Heidi? Any judges?
I go. Yeah, thank you for the presentation. It's really nice, really modern and interesting design. And my question is, like, you've been talking about, I think, blending into the nature, but you have like geometric straight lines, a lot of straight lines being used. Is there any like findings in the research, or like, you know, the essence that you wanted to show in your design?
I want to go for a really simple shape, and normally Teardrop trailer has a lot of curving line. So I was thinking, like, if I go with the straight line, it will be different, and also it go with like the modern style. So that's why I create this shape.
Oh, just being different, right? Is that?
Just different. And then also like it linked to my 3 concept word: minimalism, elegant, and transparency.
Okay.
A question.
Other questions?
All right. So I bet, you know, this last 15 weeks, it's hard to develop a project that has to take into account a lot of human factors. So did you have the ability to build, say, a scale model to try to, you know, justify the placement of things and try to work out some of these problems? Talk to me a little bit about your process.
At first, I used cardboard to adjust like the shape and how the door opened. But of course, at the end of the process, it included a lot of like glass and the wooden. And then because it's work at home, so I really couldn't like build like the real size teardrop trailer is a bit hard. But like I experienced with a lot of materials, and I also explore a bit, and also like try to search online, like, is it really work in real life? So I think like during this timing, like I do a lot of online research, and yeah, I hope I answer your question, but I do do a bit of the mock-up. Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Thank
Can you
you.
talk to what you learned from the mock-ups? I think one of the questions I have is why the doors are on the shorter side when it seems like to enter you would want as much headspace as possible. It seems like you're going to have to duck a lot to get in the doors. And the other thing that worries me about the doors is that they don't seem very secure. Like if you're driving somewhere across the country and you need to stop, it just looks like somebody could easily like shatter them, where they'd be more protected if they were under that hood. So can you talk about some of the decisions in the design process?
Yeah. So the door part, because at the back teardrop trailer only have 2 wheels, so I couldn't put a door at the back, or otherwise it will like I couldn't really open a door, and when you go inside the interior, like inside part, then it'll be hard to open the door. So like normally teardrop trailer's door is at the front, and at the back is already like 6 feet. So yes, like when you enter it, it's a bit harder, but this is like what teardrop trailer normally sizes like this. And for the glass part, for the secured, yes, like probably it will be easier to like break, but if you drive on the road, it has a soft plastic screen protector on the surface, so at least it can protect like some of the little rock to hit on the glass and like easily break it. So Did I answer your question?
Yeah, how do you keep people from breaking in though?
Then I need to probably talk to like the people who help me to do the glass part. I can tell them to make something like the hard, like really hard glass, like the unbreakable glass, and also include the material PDLC glass inside there. But this is all like when I'm going to explore and making it real life, then I need to talk to the people who manufacture the glass. I probably need to talk to them and probably make them help me to make this kind of glass. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, Andy, you're up.
Speaking of smashing stuff, we've all been asked to chill or told ourselves to chill, but when's the last time you chillaxed? Eric, take us on a trip.
Hello everyone, my name is Yi Xiangzhen. I'm in corporate sponsor project class with Delve. We have Teardrop trailer project for this semester, and I'm going to introduce my trailer, Chillaxin. I went back to my hometown Taiwan due to the COVID, and have a great chance to know the camping market here in Taiwan. After doing the research, I understand the constraint here, what's their thought, and where's the opportunity. I dive into more of the user experience because camping is really about creating memories and experience. Color inspires someone and brings people together. Pihao creates a space where people can feel calm and relaxing. Color can connect to the culture, and Pihao is the tradition in Asian country. I start sketching and finding ideas based on my research. Then I create the mockups to understand my initial idea more. Here's my final direction, Chillaxin. A colorful, compact camper with mobile kitchen galley that unites the community and brings a delightful using experience to our life. In a compact camper, everything has to be multi-functions. Inside the Chillaxin, you can sleep, you can read, and have a beautiful folding sofa for 2 people to enjoy beautiful scene. Moreover, it has a mobile kitchen galley. You can pull it out and place where you like and gather all the people around and having a party. A delightful color which can represent and inspire you. Sure, it has blue, red, green, orange. Unite, bringing people to create community. Thank you.
Thanks, Eric. Let's talk about Chillaxin, shall we?
Yeah. Alex, here, I don't know if there used to be this thing where you raise hands or something. I don't know if that exists here. Anyhow, oh, there's one here, right here, it's in the water. Sorry. So yeah, now I'm going to ask the question. Yeah, I was kind of hesitant on the early one because not to fill too much time here. But for this second proposal, I do ask the question: have both of you on these projects think about like the more next level, like let's say livability aspects, as saying that you're able to, you know, besides just laying and relaxing, to also, let's say maybe people want to cook something, or you need to take a shower, or like have you considered these items to possibly to include? I mean, also things like when you're out there, do you need maybe solar power to, you know, generate some, you know, energy and stuff like that? So it's a little bit of further thinking beyond the actual, you know, just the relaxing portion of it.
Yeah, that's a good question. When I'm doing the research in Taiwan of the camping lifestyle, all the people, when they go to camp, they have a campsite. So when they have a campsite, they have a showering cistern, they have all the battery there. So one thing that they don't really bring is about the generator or the showering or a heavy or a lot of the water to bring with them. So most of the time they just have the tent with them, but I want to increase the convenience when they're camping. So I want to combine the trailer and the tent together, so like make it like a combination of these two features together. But for the like showering cistern or the like the showering cistern and the battery, this thing, I wanted to keep it like lightweight so that a regular student can tow with them and can bring with them to anywhere. Yeah.
Hey, Eric.
Hello. Hi, Mark.
So I'm a little curious about your color palette, because I think with the emphasis that you have on relaxing, right?
Yeah.
A label on the product and all, it's all over your presentation. I think, you know, some of the colors that you showed were a bit more striking and a bit more intense. So I'd encourage you, right? Because I think that's probably an easy fix, right? You can probably switch out the colors when you tell this story again. And if the foundation is around creating a relaxing, like you said, mood, right? I think color is tightly tied to mood, right? And some of these more intense colors aren't working for me. And so maybe a little research there, a little experimentation there would tell a more complete story at the end.
Yeah. So in the beginning, when I doing this project and I saw a lot of the vehicle or the car, they have the multi-color that people can choose. So that people, when they buy the car, they can really choose the color that really inspire them and represent themselves. So they can drive with them with the color like they like. So when they go camping, I saw most of the camper that the color is really like white or the gray color. It's not really striking when people pull with the trailer with them. So I think the color can really bring people and really have a enjoy the moment when all the color of the camper line up together. So I start to do some different color on this trailer. So the first I come up with is like ocean and the sky. So it's come out with the blue. And the red is really represent someone's personality or the lifestyle. So I keep it red because it's really striking for some people, like really fashionable style. And the orange is come out with the sun and the mud of the nature. So I separate all these color and make them really striking so that people can really appreciate the nature and really like the feeling and really feel pleasant when they driving with them.
Yeah. Can you talk also a little bit about the form and the architecture? Notice the form is very boxy compared to like some of the campers I've seen. What were your thoughts on the shape and the materials? Also, I think the hard thing for me to figure out is how you get in. I don't see a door and there's a bench on the back. So can you sort of talk about the experience of what it is like to get in and to access things, how a person uses this?
So for the form, there have when I doing the sketch, I start with the organic form or some of the really speed form shape. But then I thought Teardrop trailer, the main purpose is have to be minimal design and really simple. So I come up with a really boxy style, but it's really felt really it felt it's really not really enjoyed. So I come up with a little more rounding surface and have a slope on the back, so make it more rugged when the people have 4x4, the four-wheel drive car, and they have a slope on the back. So it represents the really rugged style and really adventurous feeling. And I keep the phone into a really boxy because in a minimal compact camper, it really have no enough space for people to sleep or to put everything's luggage or ice bucket inside there. So the phone, if the phone is really squarish, it can be fit all the stuff inside there. So at the same time, I want to keep it like have a slope in the back and also can feel can also have feeling of it can still put a lot of things inside the trailer. And for the back, for people to went in there, it's just open the back of the trailer and you can walk in there. And there's a folding sofa. When you have to sit in the back, you can just put the cushion out and put the back up and you can sit in there. When you go to sleep, you can just climb into the trailer and can have a comfortable bed.
Great. Well, thanks, Eric. Hey, question for you, John.
Yeah.
What's hotter than DIY projects right now?
I don't know. Tell me.
Nothing. It's a trick question. Take us to the Raven, won't you?
Yeah, the next one's a Raven. The last but not least from Delve. So take it away, Jonathan.
Hello, my name is Jonathan Hatch. This is my design submission for the 2021 Spring Show. During the design and research process for this project, I've discovered it's all about the journey. It's not just about the destination or traveling, but it's also about the process of creating a camping trailer for yourself. Adding features, storage, comforts, and anything you want. It gives the user the opportunity to make a deeper connection with the product. Introducing the Raven Teardrop Trailer. This is a research and design project sponsored by Delve. The Raven offers the full experience of owning the Teardrop trailer, as well as the customization and the opportunity for a hands-on build. Minus a few pieces of hardware, mostly related to frame construction, the user can take pre-cut parts and build the Raven piece by piece, customizing it along the way to their satisfaction. It is meant to be built from a kit, or perhaps cut from easy-to-follow patterns. Only basic tools are needed to build this teardrop design. It is a perfect starting point, and it comes standard with plenty of space for camping equipment and cooking stoves with under-mattress storage. The trailer's main access is at the rear. An ergonomic hatch unlocks and floats down to reveal a step, which also stores the tongue jack. The hard-top canopy automatically lifts with a push of a button for quick access to storage. Press it again, and then it fully opens to reveal a spacious room with a fully sealable zipper door. Some standard features might be a water tank and dispenser, a place to store and charge electronics, or a calming light fixture. All of these features together create a hands-on building and customized camping experience like no other, and it offers a great view as well. This trailer is designed to stack, making room for friends and family. It can easily also be unstacked and latched onto support frames, and then placed around the campsite. For the Raven Teardrop trailer, every step is part of the journey. the Raven Teardrop trailer. Thanks for your time.
Great, thank you. I'm interested. Any questions? Anyone from the judges have anything? Hi, Mark. Mark, you're on mute if you're talking.
Sorry, I'm sure that won't be the last time. Jonathan, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, good. I've been dying to ask this question to a lot of the other projects as well, but you know, I kind of love where you landed. But I'm more curious about how you got there. Like, what were some of the explorations that you did? What are some things that really tanked? And then how did you end up with this one?
Yeah, so it began with the research. Of course, I interviewed many heavy camper users that I know personally, as well as some contacts that I was given by friends in my class. And there was kind of a resounding message that a teardrop trailer, yes, you can buy one, but like people live in these things and travel thousands of miles and customize it and completely you know, build it from the ground up. And a lot of it has had a lot of people's experiences involved pitfalls and you know, trial and error with their builds. So I really wanted to make it kind of a skeleton, a very straightforward base platform that somebody could potentially purchase and make their own along the way, so you can do what you want with it.
Almost like the IKEA hack, right? People buy flat packed pieces of furniture or whatever, and they build it and they manipulate it and they create something that's more specific to their needs.
Absolutely. And these, the frame and the structure and the paneling, everything can be handmade, cutting with router, hand tools, what have you, as well as there are 3D printed parts integrated into this. So you can truly start from full scratch, or like you said, yes, you can get all the parts on a pallet or in the mail or how, you know, what have you, and build it from there.
Might be helpful to show, because it's such a specific demographic that you're going after, and I would imagine, you know, in your process book or your journal or whatever, you know who they are, right? Who he is or she is, but that might be worth putting in the presentation as well.
Absolutely.
I don't think if this product is so much about customization. I think just seeing more about how somebody, like seeing different models of customization or examples would be great. I also have some concerns on the design. Just, it seems like a lot of parts. And I have put together IKEA furniture with a lot of parts before, and it is quite a headache. And I think going through the experience of cutting these pieces out, not just in the digital world, but like physically trying to even a scale model, trying to put it together, you might have some findings. Did you work through any mock-ups? I mean, how easy was it to put together? I think I have two concerns. There's the user experience of what it is to put it together, but also kind of more from an engineering technical standpoint, is just the more parts you have, the more tolerance issues you have, where things can go wrong and not fit really well. So can you talk about if you did any mock-ups and physical testing to kind of drive towards this design direction?
Yes, I've done physical mock-ups, 3D printing parts and frames to scale, and as far as piecing it together and the complexity, It's basically made to have all the parts slide on each of the base frame, or just having a screw be supporting something. So the base frame are just two standard 2x6, and all the wood paneling is 1/2-inch plywood, and everything is designed to have a gap tolerance, so you can fit one part over the next to have it be placed, and then have it drop into slots. So there are parts to this design that are smaller on these images that were thought of during that process.
How does the user know which part goes where? How do you make the assembly experience as seamless as possible?
Yeah, so that could be through instructions, online videos, similar to how anything is DIY built. And, somebody who would really enjoy building it themselves, or that experience would kind of have that technical know-how. Things would be labeled and piece by piece taken out of packaging, in order.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Jonathan.
Thank you.
Let's move into the sort of general interest category, whereby there is no big corporate sponsorship, just the ingenuity of the students involved. The first up is Ken Rong's AQ1. It's his integrated solution to home management and alerts.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Ken, and this is AQ1. AQ1 is an intelligent smoke detector that differentiates from other existing smoke alarm systems. Traditional smoke alarm systems can only detect smokes or fire that is already happening. AQ1 can predict a fire before it occurs. During my interview process, I went to a different fire station and talked to the firefighters. And they told me about the most common cause of majority house fire in the US are smoking, cooking, and candle. And they also told me how fast the fire can be spread out. It only took 2 to 3 minutes to let the fire spread out and left serious damage to the house. And I think a lot of those can be avoided. That's why I designed AQ1. AQ1 has 2 built-in cameras. The first is the thermal cameras to detect any abnormal heat source, movements, and the temperature. Another ultra-wide cameras provides high-definition live streams that allows the user to check their home anytime. The smoke sensor combined with the carbon monoxide sensor will work with the cameras and bring a home security to the next level. AQ1 will connect to the user's smartphone through Wi-Fi. So whenever the user leaves home, the guard mode will be activated and the smart switch fumes will be turned clear. And the DC motor will rotate device 360 degrees with no blind spots in the protected area. If any potential threat is detected, AQ1 will send a notification to the user's phone immediately and locks a potential threat for the user to see through the live stream. Here is my image force, and based on those image force, I finished my aesthetic studies and choose the direction I want to move forward with. And then I start to do reverse engineering and trying to figure out what kind of components inside of those devices and what components do I need for AQ1. Then I started making foam models and do volume testing. And this is the final results for AQ01, and hope you guys enjoy it. And thank you so much.
Thanks, Ken. Let's open it up for some questions. What do you say?
Yeah, anyone have questions? Feel free to ask me.
I have a question. So home decor is very varied, and people pick things because of the way that they look in their homes. Can you describe a little bit about your process of how your form was developed from that standpoint?
Okay, so I generally starts with 2D. I generally start with the 2D phrase and finish the side views or top views, and then I'm moving on to the 3-dimensional sketch and figure out what the form looks like from 2D to 3D, and then I move after I decide which is the possible direction, which there might be more than one usually, and then test out what it looks like. I use like an Illustrator to do this detailed sketch and trying to figure out the forms or where the button placements for this device and all those details on Illustrator, and also doing foam model and foam models and 3D prints just to test out if it works or not. Yeah.
Cool. Thanks.
Yeah, I do appreciate seeing a lot of the process that tearing down other products and a lot of foam mock-ups, and I can see a good depth of exploration. I think the one thing that I might just consider is I saw the inspiration board for the color material and finish looked very tech heavy, and I think what would help is looking more towards the home. And I think that we are seeing a shift in consumer technology for the home, trying to incorporate more materials like textiles and woods and other things that feel more fitting in the home environment. I think that's one thing that could maybe inspire the design to move in a direction that doesn't feel so tech. Sometimes technology in the home can scare people, especially when there's cameras and sensors and things like that.
Yeah, definitely. I think you hit on the right points. That's like a super popular trend, like put textile on the products. The only concern I have for that one is like since this is a device hanging on the ceiling for years, like the dust, everything. Yeah, that's just the concern I have. The reason I didn't choose to use more, but I agree on that. Like have more friendly feels, especially for products with the cameras, and that's the reason I decided to put this like a switch smartphone films, like just to do a little bit of research to help like provide a better like a user experience. Yeah.
All right, if there are no more questions, let's move on. Do you know, my daughter married a man named Juice. So let's go to Juicy. Next.
Juicy is an EV charger for the masses. The world is switching to electric cars in the fight against climate change. As electric cars become mainstream, many people will install a level 2 charger at their home. Research done on electric car ownership shows that the charging experience has a big influence on the overall satisfaction of EV owners. That's why Juicy focuses on the user experience and sustainability. Here's how it usually goes with EV chargers currently on the market. You first remove the connector from the wall, then you plug it into the car. Then you confirm that the connection is successful by a status light on the car. However, this light indication is not always intuitive, and it varies between different brands. Most of them can only give very vague indications of current battery level or charge settings, and you would have to get inside the car if you want to change the charge settings. This is my inspiration board. I want to create a sense of familiarity and cleanness with Juicy, so it would blend perfectly into a bright, modern home. I started out sketching the connector first, since that's the main point of interaction with the user. Then I iterated the design together with the wall unit so they would work together in harmony. Here are some of the cardboard models and 3D prints that I made during the development process for testing. And this is the result. Juicy puts your experience first. There's a bright AMOLED display on the back of the connector that puts the information and control you need right in front of you, so you don't have to get inside the car to change the charge setting or pick up the menu to find out what that flashing status light means. The angle of the screen and the face of the wall unit is done with purpose. The screen on the connector tilts up so it always faces you, whether it's on the wall unit or plugged into a car. And the wall unit's face is tilted downward to provide a comfortable angle for putting the connector back in after you're done charging. Juicy's cable is light and flexible, so it's easy to manage. Built-in wireless connectivity allows for remote monitoring and control. The screen on the connector is recessed to protect it from accidental bumps, and it can charge your car at up to 44 miles an hour. Juicy is designed with sustainability and safety in mind. The wall unit housing is made from powder-coated aluminum, which is highly durable and recyclable. And recycled plastic is used wherever it makes sense. Juicy can be installed indoor or outdoor. Juicy makes it easy, and that rhymes. It can be accessed from your phone, and the app's user interface is clean and efficient, just like Juicy. Juicy, juicing up your car is so easy. Thank you.
Right on. Thank you very much. Any questions from the judges?
Just a quick comment, mostly because I just posted something to the Hive team, really wanting to understand more what the relationship is with the user or the astronauts in the device. And I do want to call out that there was some nice details there, yet where you really considered different degrees, some really subtle little details in changing the degrees and the MMs to make the user experience that much better. And I wanted to applaud you for that, right? So making it a little bit more visible for the user to interact with this product, and then just a little bit easier for the user to plug it back in its hub. I don't know, putting gas in a car hasn't changed in forever, but it's always a messy and always there's something about that experience that could be really improved. Yes, this slide in particular. We really appreciate those small little details.
Thank you, Mike.
Anyone else?
If there are no other comments, let's take it over to Ilan. The rest of us are kind of existing over here in 2021. She's over here in 2071, putting stem cells on your feet. Take a look at the Extreme Adapt.
Hello, my name is Alon Hawkins, and this is Project Extreme Adapt. Extreme Adapt is a footwear project dedicated to 50 years into the future. In this 50 years, nature has taken back control of the world, and humans must learn how to cope with their new environment by going back to their animalistic roots and primal instinct. Humans have adjusted to their environment by becoming nomadic and must rely on their strongest asset, the brain. They have many needs such as biotechnology and dexterity, but one of the most important features is footwear. This is an object that is essential for travel and survival. Before diving into design, there was much research involved in making it come to life. First, I looked into adaptation and its different types. Prey have adaptations based on self-protection. Predators have ones to hide and attack their prey. And also animals have adaptations to survive harsh elemental conditions. I also wanted to address the rising interest of biomimicry in modern time and apply it forward. Biomimicry is essentially modeling objects after solutions found in nature. I have combined this with stem cell research to create the main basis for the functionality of an extreme adapt. As I was working on this project, I wanted to focus on these three words: endurance, compatibility, and adaptability, the main design features of my project. The primary components feature a cellular textile upper and a harder cellular material sole, both with the ability to rapidly change to its environment. This is a living shoe with porous embryonic cells and also the ability to communicate with other cells living in the organism. These cells also have the ability to change color, similar to these petri dishes seen on the right. I created prototypes to simulate living organisms and their interactions with the user. This first prototype features vein structures that can transport nutrients and collect data throughout the main body of the shoe. This second prototype deals with thermal regulation and how organic structures will grow around the foot. This third prototype shows plant coloration and also the ability to have strength while being flexible. I created some quick ideation to sort out my initial ideas. A few important ones that would help define my project are the cellular sole, skin-like feel, and different forms depending on the environment. I then did a deep dive into the design and worked on details such as the shoe silhouette, vein structure, adaptive cell-sole formation, and step-in damp closure system. In addition to its ability to react physically, it can change visually as well. There are three coloration states: elementa, its natural state; predation, camouflage; and aposma, which is warning attackers that you are dangerous. If you are ready for the future, you will be now. This is the extreme adapt.
Gorgeous. Let's talk about the extreme adapt. Reese, you've been pretty quiet over there.
Well, first of all, beautiful, beautiful work. Really nice sketch language. You definitely have a fantastic illustration background. I love the matte painting and the feeling, the ambiance of the sketches. My question, a little bit more about the process. You had three concepts that then informed what you came up with in your final form. Now, from that process, those sketches, I believe, they're very, very organic. How did that inform moving towards something that looks more like an anatomic offset, like an offset or a sock on a foot? Did you go through any sort of form development or study in hard forms or model making to kind of verify this transition and process? I just kind of want to see where, you know, your design thinking went from those initial concepts to your final form.
For sure. So actually those three prototypes are real prototypes. They're not sketches. And they came from me searching around and looking at different organic features, some in my backyard and also in other places around, like environmentally. And first, the form came more organically with these growth structures and vine-like features. And I simplified the shape moving forward because, to my understanding, in modern time, we are still trying to reduce the amount of material and usage of different items. If you see like new structures for booty compression shoes and stuff like that for more performance-based footwear products. So I went into that direction of simplifying the form of the foot and the shoe just to fit that more performance-based aspect. I do not have prototypes that signify that more compression booty feel, but that was one of my main places to go around, was in this more form-fitting feel and look.
Cool, great work.
I have a question. Can you share a little bit about the context in which this shoe exists? A little bit more kind of, you got into it a little bit at the beginning of your presentation, but how did you kind of land on this future scenario and where does it go from there?
I landed on this scenario just looking back into a little bit of the problems that we have in modern time today, especially with climate change and also things in accordance to just nature in general. So for a projection of 50 years into the future, my idea of it would be that Earth would sort of balance itself out the way that it hasn't been for such a long time. And in that case, it would be more nature oriented. And all of these animals that have been sort of on the lower part of the food chain and pyramid have risen to that ability as it was a long time ago.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Nicole, it's like something that's right in your wheelhouse.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting and conceptual. Not sure I have any questions. It's like good to see you pushing the boundaries and designing for the future. Some parts of me is curious why it looks so natural. I think sometimes you see a lot of plant fibers and these materials still being used, but in ways that look traditional, like kind of fitting in with, I think, more norms of society, if you want to say that. Can you kind of talk about what drove that direction thinking in your design decisions?
Do you mean for like the final design or more like the process?
Both.
I think so. This design language that I was moving towards, one reason that one of the things that I cover is that it's white, and it may seem like an unnatural color, but at the same time, white is the existence of all colors in a system, and this is the reason why it's able to change some of the colors in its different coloration states. So for it to be able to change from white to green to red, it has this ability to diffract light in certain ways to give you the appearance that it actually is a color when it's not. And that's a big part of the functionality and purpose of the shoe. When it comes to like the upper construction, which is more flexible and regenerative than the bottom, that has to do with your movements in your ankle and your foot and just having that ability to move around and have this athleticism to your movements, where the bottom is more structured, so it has that compression-like and form-fitting feel to the bottom of your foot.
How does it get on your foot?
So there's a vamp closure, opening and closure on the front of the shoe. It's a little hard to see on the colored ones, but there is a line that comes from the top collar to the quarter vamp, and that part is removable, and then it attaches back on to grow back onto itself.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Alon. That was a lot of fun.
All right, let's head next to Dyson HeatStream. Stuart, take it away.
Hello, my name is Stuart and I'm presenting HeatStream, my product designed for Dyson. Start your day with warm, dry feet. The problem at hand is that people living in snowy or rainy locations must deal with wet shoes frequently. Shoes don't dry effectively, which results in an unpleasant odor, an uncomfortable feeling while wearing them. There are solutions, but they aren't efficient. Since the product is designed by Dyson, the brand image appears in my design. I researched shoe sizes and shoe volumes to find the most effective layout for my design. The target user is everyone living in areas that receive great amounts of snow or rainfall. When it came to applying the form language, Dyson products were analyzed. Development started with volume layout ideation to maximize space efficiency. It then moved on to forms and ways of incorporating a compartment for winter gear. The parts were sketched to increase airflow, and finally, form language was applied. As I fabricated more mockups, I would learn what worked, such as having a top lid. Also, what didn't work, such as having a single shoe compartment instead of a divided one. A final design was arrived at that offers a large shoe compartment on the bottom, a medium shoe compartment on top, and a winter gear compartment on the top right to dry things such as gloves and hats. The layout offers best use of space while keeping sitting height at a comfortable 18 inches. The final design works by intaking air, which passes through a heater. The air is distributed through the compartments and dry the shoes. Air then passes through the dehumidifier. Finally, air is cleaned by the filter and exits through the openings on the front door. This is the final model, which displays a light bar for visual feedback. This is because the appliance is operated with voice commands. Now you can enjoy warm, dry, comfortable footwear on those chilly mornings. Thank you.
All right, all right. Any questions? That was quick. Good stuff.
Still going.
It's still going. Thank you. Sorry I cut into that. That was cool. Cool video. Any questions, judges?
I have a question. So in your initial design process where you came up with the scale of the product, what determined the scale and the necessity for it to be so large, like a piece of furniture, rather than some of the other products you see on the market are a little bit smaller, albeit not as inviting looking? What was the driving factor in making this, a larger piece of furniture rather than something low profile?
How I decided in the size was pretty much what you mentioned, that they're not very appealing. So, and also when you go in, most of those products you can only drive one pair of shoes, maybe one set of gloves. So I wanted to fix that by making a product that can drive multiple pairs of shoes for, let's say, a whole family that lives in an apartment. And also, it ended up looking that size because most people, when they take off their shoes, they sit at a bench. So the top aids the person when taking off their shoes.
That's a good part of the story. Thanks.
Can you explain why Dyson was your muse from a brand standpoint?
Yeah, when we first started the semester, we were designing for the Dyson Awards, and then I started thinking of a product that I wanted to associate with kind of what they do. They make products that are for everyone. So I saw a very big problem that I've experienced. So that's how this product kind of came together with Dyson.
Thanks.
Any other questions?
Stuart, can you just scrub to the maybe the hero shot of your product? Right. Thanks.
Yeah. Can you talk to Dyson's design language and why this product fits into that language?
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
Yeah, Dyson has a very distinct design language. Can you talk about that, how it inspired this design and why you feel this is fitting for a Dyson product?
Yes. When it came to the form language, I started looking at many of their products, and I noticed their use of neutrals for the most part, and they would do accent colors. So, and one of their most popular colors is that fuchsia. So I implemented that, and also they use pill shapes. So I implemented that into the handle when it came to designing the handle for the top lids, and then I wanted to unite to create harmony in the whole appliance. So I added the round surface on the front door, which is where the air escapes from the front filter. So from the Dyson brand, I took their pill shape and also their use of accent colors.
Mm-hmm. I see Dyson often using a like form follows function approach and really showing off the mechanism or the innovation in airflows and things like that that really define the shape of the design, even allowing transparency or a shape that you can see where there's air flowing through. I didn't really see that you're kind of showing off like the functionality and how the drying mechanism works here. Is there a reason for that?
Like why it's not visible to the user?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or why you're not really kind of using the design to showcase the technology.
Well, the whole form kind of came together because of me trying to make the most of the space that I was working with, because it can only be so high for somebody to sit on it comfortably. And then when it came to it, I came to this general form, and then I only really thought about adding some of their form language, but I didn't really think of showing off how the air exactly flows through the machine, because I don't see how I can do that. Maybe there is a way if I keep thinking about it. The only thing I did implement something they do with the openings, how they have very small openings for the airflow. I did use that inside the appliance itself and where the air escapes. But showcasing the technology, it's pretty much all hidden from the user, and it's very simple.
Is it a replaceable filter? I might consider something a little bit more advanced for Dyson. I think especially when they early on launched their first vacuum cleaners, that was one of the things that they were trying to steer away from, was having to have replaceable bags, because first of all, they're just annoying to have to stock in your house, but also, bad for the environment. So they preferred the approach with the vacuum cleaner that you can just open it up and clean it yourself and empty it. Maybe looking at an alternative approach that doesn't require replaceable parts that are disposable might feel more on brand for Dyson.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, let's move to the next one. Andy.
Last but certainly not least in the general entries category here. DJ's concept is perfect for those of us who ball out of control and love to collect supercars. For his concept, not only is it AMG, it's freaking battery powered. So hold tight, it's gonna be fast.
Hello, my name is DJ Kim, and this is my Mercedes AMG project. It is the beginning of the electric vehicle era. Most companies are starting to display new technologies for electric hypercars that will raise their brand recognition. Since Mercedes is already competing with the BMW and Audi for the premium segment, they will need to expand their influence by separating Maybach and AMG. Maybach will have to compete in the ultimate luxury segment like Rolls-Royce and Bentley. AMG may compete with a performance luxury area like Ferrari, Lamborghini, and Bugatti. Once Mercedes succeeds in separating their brand into the two different segments, they will have easier access to market influence, which will allow them to raise their brand value. With this brand separation concept in mind, I started looking for a new form that could represent AMG's hypervehicle emotion. I found the most potential in an extreme shooting brake form. Due to its powerful and elongated form, a shooting brake can perform GT vehicle duties and provide landing capability, two things that are rarely found in a hypercar. As for inspiration, I took a glimpse into the lifestyle of my customer. A high-end, luxurious style fits this user. I also found fluid and organic image, as this is Mercedes' primary design language template. With the inspiration in mind, I started to sketch out towards direction A, which is fastback. Fastbacks are not the usual form for a hypervehicle, but they provide a strong shape that allows for more packageable space within the vehicle. I sketched direction B with long nose form, which is a little closer to traditional looking form. A more luxurious emotion is brought with this traditional form. After sketching the overall form, I started looking for a unique face that reflects Mercedes' design language. With this being a hyper vehicle, I want to emphasize the volume of the fenders themselves by bringing the front line to the center, which makes them have a significant presence. In the rear design study, I used the sunrise image as an inspiration to visualize that in the rear design, which reflects Mercedes' fluid, organic, and impactful design language. After that, I did various sketches for elongated fender tips, as these would make the vehicle more powerful and luxurious. With all of these studies combined, I organized and took it into the next chapter, which is development sketches here. So this is final front quarter shot. And this is side view shot. And this is rear quarter shot. And this is the package page in comparison with Bugatti La Boîte Noire, as it is a hyper vehicle or a GT vehicle at the same time. After the sketches were done, I built the 3D model for the design, and here's the front quarter view in studio to reveal the design clean and clear. And here's the side view. And here's the rear quarter view. After the preview shots, I took it out for the emotional drama for various shots from this page. This is the final shot that reveals its fluid design language and emotional drama. Thank you so much for being here for my presentation.
Awesome. Thanks, DJ. Alex, I can tell by you adjusting your camera that you've got something to say.
No, it's just the image was, sometimes the images on my laptop are really dark, so I'm trying to like to see what's going on there.
My apologies for that.
No problem. I think that was with the trailer too. That camper trailer was so dark. Yeah. I was supposed to say something. Okay, so yeah, no, good work. I'm just wondering, like, why you chose a one-seater for this vehicle, like in terms of for the category. I mean, it looks like it's a one seat, I guess, right? So that's just kind of like my question. Nowadays, they don't have many sports cars anymore. As even the most expensive sports car is still offering 2 seats, but maybe it's depending on the buyer. Who's that buyer for the vehicle? I would be curious.
It is more about the concept car, except rather than production version itself, because this is like we are entering into like electric vehicle division, and it's been a while, but no one has ever built like electric hypercar before. And then since AMG recently revealed that their AMG Project 1 and AMG GT Black Series, I think they are trying to I think they are trying to I thought this could be like a signal for Mercedes to challenge against like a supercar brand, and since this is more for like concept vehicle itself to show and the signal to deliver a message to Lamborghini or Ferrari and Bugatti brand, and they start competing with them. So I'm not sure this would be like enough answer for that, but I think I want to see this as like a more like a concept vehicle to show how much they want to go.
Yeah, are you thinking about doing an interior of this as well, or the kind? I'm just kind of curious, like, you know, how does the car actually feel? Because you're looking at it from the outside, and you know, it's kind of like almost like a sculpture, I guess, it's speed form. But I'm just wondering, like, yeah, how do you experience this car, like, from a driver's perspective, a little bit too? It would maybe be helpful, maybe for another level, another step in this project. Yeah, because since I made this car with shooting brake form, I should have like an interior design. But instead of that, I put like in the rear part there's like a hatch style rear trunk. I think this could for now could explain that this is like a shooting brake form, so it has more daily capability, which could be like a uniqueness to the AMG hypercar branch itself. But I should have like an interior project too for this.
Hey DJ, I have a quick question for you.
Yeah.
On your computer model renderings, it looks like you've done something unique with the rims where they overlap the tire. Can you explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, so that's for I call it like extended. It's extended from the rear view. I made this especially for the car. For the car had to have like a more better stance from the rear and the front. I don't have like a direct rear or front view, but it actually extends the width of the car vehicle like visually, so that since this is more like a vision vehicle, concept vehicle, to show people more how grand it is. So yeah, mainly it is for stance, for the better width and stance.
Cool, thanks.
Shin, what are your overall impressions?
Oh yeah, looks great. I have one question about the electrification, because since you talked about this is going to be the hyper performance EV, what the EV electrification affected when you're designing? Like, what's the influence that you?
What's influence?
Electrification.
Are you meaning how electrification affect this design?
Yep, I mean the front engine, supercars. Look at that. See the proportions different than the midship, hypercars, and like those kind of like internal, like I don't know, the components kind of affected your.
Yeah, sounds. I'm not sure I understood it properly, but what I can say is since this is electric hyper vehicle, usually, as you told me, there's like there's engine in the middle or the front or rear, but we don't need that anymore, which means that it has more like daily capability and space efficiency. So I think it actually affect the driver himself in the interior rather than exterior. But exterior wise, there's also because thanks to the electrification, the form itself could be more like a cleaner and then simpler, which is kind of aligned with the Mercedes design language too.
So I think it's more about the interior spacing right?
Yeah, usually electrification in hypercar, I think they're gonna affect interior mostly. But exterior wise, we don't need any more like a super big grille, and they're gonna make the design more cleaner and modern looking.
Cool.
That's what I kept in mind when I designed this car.
So basically, as Alex mentioned, like you might want to do some interior to explain that concept is more, strong and bold.
That's perfect. Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you for your credit too.
Awesome. That's fantastic insight. DJ, you
Yeah.
got my dude.
Yeah, thanks.
That said, I'm going to turn the mic over now to our special guest micer, Mr. Tom Collum. He's going to give you a little overview of the VW project.
Thank you, Andy. Great show so far. So my name's Tom Collum, and I'm from the Interior Architecture and Design Department. Now introducing our next set of amazing projects. But first of all, I just want to let you know I had the honor to co-instruct this class with my esteemed colleagues, Claudia Dallendorfer of Web Design and New Media, and Antonio Borja, who you all know now, the director of the Industrial Design Department. So this design class is truly unique. It's an interdisciplinary endeavor that includes students that span many of our university's amazing departments. And they include, in this class, advertising, graphic design, web design and new media, interior architecture and design, and of course, industrial design. So what's more is this class is sponsored and supported by Volkswagen. Maybe some of you have heard of them before. And they presented the students with a real-world design challenge. Like, what does long-distance mobility and all the design touch points in between on this journey look like, around the year 2040, so 20 years from now? So how this class worked is the students broke up into 5 interdisciplinary design teams, with one team being the overarching global design team that sets the design vision and tone for the 4 other design teams with their more specific solutions. What you're going to see are these incredibly cool vehicles of the future that are seamlessly integrated into our living environments, all woven together with the user interface and user experience technology, kind of the brain of the system. And all of this is framed within a fresh corporate identity and set up with an aspirational declaration of intention, really their design manifesto. So, without further ado, let's take a look at these students' incredible design solutions.
Hello and welcome everyone. We are so excited to have you here with us today. We are Kinship, the global branding team. Our role here is fostering seamless connections from us to you. Today we're showing you the branding and philosophy we developed for Volkswagen Group. To start off is our manifesto.
We move. We move seamlessly through life's ebbs and flows. We move past life's literal mountains and carve our own unique path. We move beyond going from point A to B and celebrate every step of our journey. We move in harmony with the day and in tune with the seasons. We move with nature and learn to respect and protect it. We move to nourish our bodies and souls. We move to set our spirits free. We move forward into life's next adventure together.
Our values prioritize revolutionary ideas, versatility, and comfort. And from what our manifesto elaborates, our mission is to create a symphony of life's transitions, and we accomplish that through biophilia. Biophilia is the human desire to interact with nature and other forms of life. Through any stage of design, we aim to reinforce the union of the human lifestyle with Earth. Every detail in design you see today, such as color, intentionally relates back to our core biophilic principles. Kinship's IND team designed a structural representation of said principles.
Welcome to Oasis, a place that provides relief and refuge. Oasis will be located just outside these 12 national parks, where visitors can add to their trip to explore and sightsee. Each Oasis location will reflect the natural landscape, with the main building being located in Sequoia National Park. Oasis is an experience center for both vehicles and people, designed with floor-to-ceiling windows to bring in natural light and a view of nature. Organic shapes are used to create a calming, flowing atmosphere and help soften sharp lines in other parts of the interior. Biomorphic forms, patterns, and materials are used to help people reconnect with nature. It's a sacred place for families and other drivers to relax, eat, and recharge before continuing on the journey. There are 6 floors of entertainment for visitors to enjoy. You can sit or walk around the main lobby or lounge. If you're feeling hungry, you can grab a bite at our cafes. And if you have some extra time on your hands, you can even recharge at our spa or gym. Even children can let off a little steam at our kids' lounge. At the top is Oasis Park, where you can walk, enjoy the views from above, sit on the grass, and kids can play on the playground. There is a presence of water to reduce stress, lower heart rate, and blood pressure, giving an increased feeling of tranquility and helps improve concentration. Throughout Oasis, you are reconnected with nature by the natural woods, stones, and use of indirect and direct nature. Natural circadian rhythm is seen throughout Oasis to improve our health by understanding our bodies to help us follow the rising and setting of the sun. The first 3 levels are designated charging ports, while the top 2 are a combination of charging, washing, and repairing. Each level brings in natural daylight where there are plants and vines winding through the facade to create a healthy interior, all of which add to our biophilic design. The first 3 levels are designated charging ports, while the top 2 are a combination of charging, washing, and repairing. Each level brings in natural daylight, and there are plants and vines winding through the facade to create a healthy interior, all of which add to our biophilic design.
The website hosts the details of each of the design team's work. It also explains our philosophy and a link to the brand book where we show how our philosophy translates to design elements. The Volkswagen Circle is used as the central motif to convey that Volkswagen helps people dive deeper into nature. The circle represents the window to the world outside our daily lives. Each project showcases the vehicle, the architecture, and the UI/UX. Rich visuals that span across the screen immerses the viewer into the different types of long-distance travel that the design teams have envisioned. So before we pass the torch along to our wonderful teams and their amazing projects, we want to leave you one last thought. Empathy in design is no longer optional. It is our responsibility. So we design for ourselves, our neighbor, our elders, our children, and most importantly, the earth. It will live with our creation longer than we ever will. Thank you so much.
Gorgeous. So there's the brand philosophy of the VW project going forward. Among the design teams, the first up is the Urban Cowboy, which clearly knows I love Steely Dan because they feature some gauchos. Let's see the vid.
Welcome to Project Urban Cowboy. I would like to invite everyone to channel their inner cowboy or cowgirl and remember what it's like to go on an adventure, to unlock your freedom. As an urban cowboy, you're bold, strong, and individual. Yes, I'm talking about you. You don't hesitate to go against the grain, to do something different, or to follow your heart. You are fearless in spirit. You seek liberation from your mundane daily routines. You have an intuitive sensitivity to nature and life, which aids your ability to live confidently and get lost without worry. Today, more and more of us are tapping into that free spirit, that itch to go outside and experience something daring and new, something that makes you feel alive. We travel vast distances only for our adventure to begin at our destination. What if your next exciting adventure started the moment you felt that itch?
That itch and adventure starts with our urban cowgirl. She asks Scout, her adventure companion, and smart device to plan an adventure for her. There's nothing that Scout likes more than going on adventures. Scout gets right to it and plans an epic journey filled with bucket list adventures from her home in Canada through North America and ending in South America. The urban cowgirl asks Scout to secure her lodging along the way and prep her ride, while she packs everything she needs to be on the road for the next 3 months. Our urban cowgirl's first stop is at Whistler Ski Resort in Canada. She's about to send her last run of the day, and Scout suggests a shortcut to get back to her ride. She's a risk taker, so she bombs down the shortcut path with Scout attached to her backpack's shoulder strap, recording the whole adventure. She makes it back to her vehicle and loads her skis onto the rack attachment, which is mounted on the power rail system on the side of her ride. She carries everything she needs in this vehicle. It is her mobile home base, her life, and the one thing that allows for this expansive journey. Once she is packed, she sets off to her urban cowboy lodge. She tells Scout to get the lodge ready for her arrival. The lodge bay doors open and the vehicle autonomously reverses up the ramp. It fits into place with a firm mechanical and electrical connection between the structure's docking platform and the vehicle's pronounced power rail exterior feature. She exits the vehicle and walks into the lounge area on the second floor of the lodge. She is able to offload power from the vehicle into the structure, powering the structure, which wakes it up. The blinds open and the evening sunlight floods into the home space. She pulls Scout off of her backpack and scrolls through the memories from the day. She finds an action-packed video and attaches the Scout device to the lodge's smart glass window. The next day, she jumps back into her car and loads it with the structure's solar energy. With a long journey ahead, Scout takes the urban cowgirl's ride out of the Pioneer off-road mode and puts it into the Ambit long-range mode. The wheel system closes up to provide a more capable on-road tire. She travels through the night for several days until she arrives at the Utah Lodge, unpacks her gear, and then makes her bed in her ride. Scout uses the extendable solar charging panel from the power rail to charge the vehicle. Our urban cowgirl enjoys a coffee in the morning sunshine from the back of her ride. Then she goes for a swim in the river. After returning back to the lodge, she uses the outdoor shower to rinse off, then enters the structure through the mudroom to drop off her gear. While taking a shower in the bathroom, Scout reminds her that she is running low on supplies and will need to pick some up. Scout finds a small town with a general store about 30 miles away. While heading into the store, a local stops her in awe of her ride. She tells him about her journey and encourages him to give this lifestyle a try sometime. Over the next 2 weeks, our urban cowgirl makes her way down towards Central America. She stops in California and summits Mount Whitney. In Arizona, she goes on a night hike through part of the Grand Canyon. Scout convinces her to explore outside of her comfort zone in Mexico, so she gets into a hot air balloon and takes in the view from the sky. In no time, she's made it to the Lux Lodge in the beautiful and tropical location of Belize. She is absolutely awestruck as she disembarks from her ride and walks into the second floor lounge space. What an exciting change from Canada. It's time to head down to the coast, so she checks the surf conditions with Scout. The urban cowgirl and Scout have a blast down at the beach. She is making the locals jealous with her surfing skills. All of the local surfers come over to her spot on the beach and ask her all about Scout and her epic journey. They cook some food on the beach, then our urban cowgirl packs her surfboard onto the rack attachment on the power rail of her vehicle. Back at the lodge, she rinses off the board and leaves it in the mudroom for the next urban cowboy to use. She jumps back into her ride, and Scout directs her towards her next adventure location, in the grasslands of La Pampas, Argentina. Scout doesn't have any big adventures planned for this location, but that is not a problem for our urban cowgirl. She is an explorer and is able to create her own adventures. While admiring the mountains in the distance, she notices a group of horses and a few riders around them. Scout calls out that those are gauchos, which are Argentine cowboys. She grabs her pack and takes off towards them across the grassy plain. She carefully approaches one of the gauchos and asks if he has any tips on what to do in the area. He tells her that his group is moving their horses to a better feeding ground over the ridge and invites her along. They move their horses, and then the urban cowgirl invites the gauchos back to her lodge for dinner. They were so interested in her lifestyle, as it really isn't much different than theirs, and how it allows her to travel without restrictions. She shows them all of the great experiences she has had with the recordings and pictures from Scout. It's time for the two cowboys to go their separate ways. The only question left is, where will our urban cowboy go next? This is how you or any other urban cowboy would interact with Scout. You can see here that we have the ability to change through different modes and select different options that may be helpful along your adventure. And here is some of the exterior imagery of our beautiful urban cowboy lodge. The second floor lounge space, and the comfortable first floor area. Once we decided on a theme sketch, we refined the proportions of the vehicle by creating a 5th scale clay model. This allowed us to make quick changes and ground this concept in reality. We refined the clay model and then began the final design refinement process with digital artwork. This is our final vehicle design, the Urban Cowboy's ride and way of life. We have designed a ride that eliminates any conceivable excuse to not travel by vehicle. Just like any good companion or horse, you can rely on your ride for more than just traveling from point A to B. Our ride allows you to unlock your freedom by not presenting barriers when you need it most. We challenge you to embrace the spirit of the cowboy and follow the adventure. Your ride won't stop you. My name is Jenner Polson, and I am the project leader for Team Urban Cowboy and an industrial designer. I have been honored to work with Elihu Taylor from Industrial Design, who introduced our project to you, Emma Delaby and Bianca Okendo from Interior Architecture and Design, and Rumeng Wong from Web New Media, an incredibly talented and motivated team of designers. This project reflects our team's passion towards this design brief, adventure, and the spirit of being a cowboy. Thank you for joining us, the Urban Cowboys.
Gorgeous. Thanks, Jenner. Let's get some questions coming at the cow people.
I have a question. How do I get on the waiting list for this service?
We can help you out right after the call.
Nice work, guys.
Thank you so much. It was a fun project.
Shin, are you feeling like more of a cowboy than you were a little bit earlier?
Yeah. It's just a comment. I think I'm so curious to see the interior, like what kind of experience you can get from that enormous space in that van shape.
Of course.
I'm sure you guys have the reason why you chose that silhouette, right? For that kind of adventure stuff.
Yes.
I'm so eager to know what you can do in there. Do you have anything in your mind already, or sketching already, or something like that?
Yeah, we definitely do. Of course, the silhouette took a very sort of form follows function approach, and that function was really created from our user and our user story. We have sketched on the interior actually, and that's viewable on the Spring Show website. But in the interest of time, we really wanted to focus on our user story, as that really reflects our vehicle design and architecture design.
Cool. Love to see it.
Yes, definitely. It is published on the
Shin. Alex, how do you feel about the cowboy?
Yeah, I've been looking at the cowboy for a while. So yeah, I've just overall have been following, or we've been following the design process of what the students did so far. And yeah, simply it's really, really great work I think you guys did, especially in this time frame. Also, I want to also mention it's a huge challenge, I think, also for the students to work together, cooperatively, a team mixed up of different, not only different people, but also from different departments. So to tie that all together into a cohesive message, I think is really powerful. And I think knitting that in a way that you can see the final result has been made a huge jump from the last couple of weeks, I think. So I think you guys brought it together pretty well. I think yes, design is subjective, right? We can have long discussions on versus the car is too big, too small, too high, or too low. But I think also what Shin was mentioning, also I 100% agree that the interior usage becomes such a key element that you just want to see how it interacts with the house, the building, or whatever structure. Or it seems like the project is going from exterior vehicle to just the people outside the building and what they do. Like that woman is taking a shower outside the building, they're cooking outside the building. Everything is the people around the building, and the vehicle is on its own. So I think bringing that, again, like I said in the last discussion, knitting that together into one, how the vehicle really connects with the people, with the building, I think that would be probably another one on your task list besides just focusing on finishing the design. I think finishing the design is easy peasy in a way. I mean, of course, I'm saying that's easy, but as students, you guys have all the freedoms to go wild and have fun and make it look cool. I don't have any doubts, but I think getting that powerful story, what you're working on, getting that interior working, I think that's going to be key for this, to bring this really to life, which you already did through the story. I'm very glad you guys focused on the story communication. It's funny, like these wheels remind me of these. I don't know what these called on these cowboys. These things on the boots in the back. They have these like star patterns. I don't think they use them anymore. They're kind of like horse torture, but
they're called furs.
Like,
Furs,
right? Yeah, it has this kind of like image from that. But yeah, I think that's great. Also with this little the little navigator fell a little short. I think the navigator that you're showing, the little like nest type of thing that you showed off. Yeah, I think that guy is a little bit of can be your companion, your key, just like they talked about in the NASA project. And I think that could be a little bit more connected with the project. Yeah, sorry, I stopped talking now, so I'll talk the whole time.
Well, thank you so much, Alex. We really appreciate all of your help this semester and all of this feedback. Of course, we'll continue to refine. And there is a lot more of our work published on the Spring Show website if you would like to see more of our final work.
Real quick, I'd like to focus just a little bit more on the companion device, the physical form factor of it, and I kind of just want to hear you talk about, the necessity to pull it into a physical product, because it looks like, you're really defining an experience. You've gone into UI, UX on this thing, but why can't it live on your phone? Don't get me wrong. I'm always looking for an excuse to make something physical and desirable as an object, but I want to hear you talk about it because there was some intention here, and I want to hear you talk about it a little bit.
Of course. So the Scout device was a pretty exciting piece of our project. It really actually started as just a UI. We did make an intentional decision to bring it into a physical form, as we felt this urban cowboy, based on their persona, they really need something to interact with. They need something that kind of fits their attitude, their lifestyle, and what they're looking for from an actual physical device. So that's why we designed the Scout. It's there to be your adventure companion. It's not there to really do a whole lot else. Although it does, in this case, replace the user's phone. And that's a choice that the user did make because they are embracing this style of the urban cowboy.
Cool. Yeah, I found like there could have been an opportunity there to showcase this object because it already has kind of a romantic idea, kind of a tribute to like a traditional pocket watch or a compass, a travel companion, So I was kind of looking to dive a little bit deeper into that object to kind of draw out that parallel, because it seems like it was just teed up to go right there. But good work.
Thank you. We'd be happy to refine that.
Awesome. Thanks, Jenner. Well, I'm going to kick it over to John to kick off the next project.
Yeah, thank you. This is great stuff. I'm an old Volkswagen driver myself, so this is fun stuff. The next, I believe, is X Hubs. So let's take it away from there.
Good evening, everyone. We are Team X Hubs. I am so incredibly excited to share a project with all of you this evening. My name is Henny Haitala. I'm an interior architecture and design major, and I'm also the team leader. Our team consists of myself and V for interior architecture and design, Hyun-So for web new media, and Junyoung, Warwang, and Stella for industrial design. Our catchphrase is feeding the wild within, and our concept statement is reimagining the typical pit stop on our journeys. Our destinations offer a break from the road to recharge, connect with other travelers, and explore the local landscape. Detours offer memorable adventures too. Our keywords are replenish, explore, and harmony. We're addressing the human need for adventure. And we have our fun concept based on a treasure map of X marks the spot. Usually the X marks something valuable and desirable. In our case, it's our X Hubs. Here are some of our locations and some potential routes. And our persona is a family. So here we have Robert and Meredith and their 2 kids, ages 5 and 7. They travel to enjoy the great outdoors and love to go camping as a family. Here's our storyboard. We have Robert and Meredith and their kids waiting outside their home in the morning. Their car is coming to pick them up automatically. Here they're inside the vehicle and on their way to X Hubs. On the way, they can use the UI UX interface. They arrive at X Hubs and go straight to their reserved hub. The car attaches to the hub for a seamless transition from vehicle to architecture. After their long journey, they walk around on the green roof to stretch their legs and explore. Then they grab a bite to eat and head to a mountain nearby to hike. They make it back to their hub and enjoy dinner as a family and rest up for the next day. Here we have our site plan. The curved sweeping architecture with a green roof in the north is our excursion center. This is where shuttles leave from to bring guests on excursions. We have our ring road with solo hubs on the inside and family hubs on the outside. This was based on the concept of a compass and sundial. A sundial in the middle casts shadows on each of the hubs at a certain time of day, so they are positioned at the different hours of the day. And the family hubs each face cardinal points in the compass. Here's our team color palette and our team mood board. Here we have our hubs, so travelers can book these and use them as their own private apartment. There's a large living room, perfect for groups or families to hang out, and a fun kids room for them to play in. In the excursion center, we have a lounge and kids play area, perfect for making new friends. Visitors can also make their way up to the green roof, where we have an outdoor movie area with plenty of family movies. There's also a garden area, which helps source fresh local ingredients for the food area. This is the excursion area where travelers will leave X-Hubs and go off and explore nearby adventures. And in our project, we're celebrating regionalism by reflecting the local landscape in our designs. So this Colorado hub has a bit of a rugged natural aesthetic to it. This is our car detail shot. Here we have the seamless docking system ready for the arrival of the vehicle at the hub. There's another top window, which acts as a skylight for passengers to enjoy. And here's a rear view shot, showing some of the details. The interior provides a comfortable space for the family to enjoy their trip together. There are 4 seating spaces. The family can lie down on the longer bench-style seats, and there's also a sofa bed, which converts to a bed. Kids can draw on the smart pad, and their drawings can be saved to their VW family profile, or it can be used to watch movies as a family. Passengers can enjoy open panoramic views in every direction. This is showing the intuitive UI from the dashboard view. The driver can easily see where they need to go. Upon entering the excursion center, visitors can check the UI screen to see what all is there and be informed of any events going on. In the hubs, there's a large interactive screen in the living room, so the kids can continue their drawings here, for example. And with an integrated smart mirror, visitors can also easily check their schedules and see what else is going on. They can also expand their experience with the Apple Watch app, which gives directions and audio guidance. Thank you all so much for being here with us this evening. We hope you enjoyed our presentation. Here is our final video.
Great, great. Thank you, guys. Comments, anybody? A lot of cool elements to that.
I have a question. I think, this probably comes at considerable cost. But I'm wondering, how does this scale? Because you've got these kind of wide, expansive views for what looks like a few people. How does this become a profitable enterprise for VW?
Sorry, could you repeat that last part?
I'm just wondering, how is this going to be profitable for VW? Like, is it going to be through scale, or is it going to be through cost?
Yeah, we were discussing a variety of different business plans. We ended up just focusing mostly on the concept, so it's mostly a conceptual project for the moment. We had some lots of options for what we could explore for that, though.
This project is another great story. I'm curious a little bit about what you guys are thinking about, though. You know, how we get from one destination point to the next is going to change, right? I mean, you guys really kind of identified that, and how we interact in vehicles will totally change. And so the interior of the vehicle is going to change, the exterior of the vehicle is going to change. I'm curious if you thought about how these hubs might change, right? Because I think you mentioned at some point in your story, you know, get out and stretch your legs, right? Well, that's a need if you're sitting down in the same position for 5-10 hours, right? As you're commuting down the I-5 or something. And so what are some of those unique needs that the user has once they reach these destination hubs that are very different than what you might find at a trucker stop now, or you know, one of these stops that you might find on I-5 with the 7-Eleven and a little playground for the kids. Curious if you guys explored that through your design process.
Yeah, we explored a lot about fostering connection and tried to make the X Hubs as a place where people can really meet new people and make those connections while they're on their journeys. And then we have certain areas inside of that excursion center that kind of address those needs. So there's like a spa rejuvenation area after, you know, a long journey. We have the excursions to go off on, and food area for, you know, after a long journey, you get there, you're probably going to want something to eat right away or before or after your excursions. And yeah, so we just tried to think about it from that perspective of the journey and what would you want to do there, and try to address those in our designs.
Cool. I know Katie had a question. Katie?
Hi, thanks, John. Hi, Henny. Thank you for that and your whole team for that presentation. I just wondered if you guys had considered, or maybe if I missed it, does the interior of the car, once it's docked in the hub, is it available to use as kind of like a secondary lounge space, or is once it's docked, it's sort of closed off?
We did discuss one of the door is at the front or rear of the vehicle, and so it opens up and attaches to the hub to make that kind of really seamless connection into the interior. So it is kind of available, I think. Yeah.
Great, thanks.
All right, if there are no more questions, Andrew, take it away. Who's next? Andrew there? Well, I don't hear him.
Sorry, I was muted. Get used to it. That said, let's kick it over to Team Orbis, where they focused on sleeping, chilling, or even working during your commute.
Hi, my name is Santiago, and I'll be presenting for Team Orbis, Volkswagen Group. This is our team. This is our main concept statement. It's about cultivating a holistic work-life balance. These are some of our main keywords, and this is some of the main research done specifically looking at business travel. What are the main pain points of it? What are the opportunities of it? And actually, why do people prefer to drive rather than flying? So what we found in the further research is that people actually really like to take car travel rather than fly it, because it gives you a sense of freedom, gives you a sense of connection. You're constantly connecting to your surrounding. And we want to know, how do we maximize this? How do you open that window and use this to decompress from those long business meetings? So for the storyboard, we wanted to show an example of that. So we show you two coworkers who are looking to schedule a business meeting, 3-day journey. So they use these VW ports that they can stay overnight. And you can see that the car is connecting to it. You can see that they're choosing to use some of these VW ports to have a business meeting in person, but at the same time, the car acts as the digital hub for your digital meetings as well. So the car is really showing you this duality of being able to work from it, but at the same time using it to decompress, slow down, and connect to your surroundings. So in the second part, we will show you a little bit more depth into some of the design elements shown in the storyboard, starting with architecture, some color and palettes, some exterior design for the architecture, some interior layouts. The layouts correspond to the interior's duality. So you can see 2 different spaces for each one of the co-workers shown in the storyboard. And then we jump into the exterior design of the vehicle, some final renders. We're also showing the 3 modes, how the greenhouse is changing according to the different use of space inside, and some storage for the front part of the car, and some final shots, a little bit more refined. Then we jump into the interior, where we can show also how this experience is affecting the interior with the relaxing and working mode. We have this hydraulic system that is pushing the backrest. And then we're showing basic materials around the interior. And then we show the social aspect, how the divider can come down and actually give you a new experience and interact with your coworker. And then we can jump into what the work mode looks like when the divider is up and you have an additional screen there. And then we jump into the final part, which is the UI, where you can see some screens that we have on the table, really lo-fi screens. When the divider is down, you still have basic information. And then the main screen where you can work and connect your computer to. And that is all. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Santi. So, Reek, as somebody that appreciates indoor parking and round couches, what do you think about the Orbis?
Who did you call on, Andy?
Reese, sorry.
Oh, okay. No, it was nice to see the amount of detail that was brought into the interior layout of the vehicle. I like how it invokes kind of like a premium, like airline experience, but still trying to bring back that idea and sentimental value of a road trip and spending time in a vehicle navigating the road. The innovation is pretty cool. I like how you called out the suspension system for the backrest and how that transforms. You know, these are more comments. I don't have as many questions, to be honest with you, right off the bat. I'm kind of interested to see what Shin thinks of the situation here, because he was looking for an interior design. I'm calling you out. I don't know if he's on.
Shin, you're muted. Called on and muted. We got something in common now.
Yeah, actually, I was going to comment on the exterior side this time. I mean, the interior is the key element that we have to work on the industry now, and I was not really ready to say anything about the interior. Let me talk about the exterior a little bit. I had a question about the exterior design, that the Volkswagen has strong design language, and I wanted to ask the designer that how did you understand the current Volkswagen design language, and how did you apply that to your proposal?
Well, for our design on this project, we were actually told to try not to think too far into what's Volkswagen done and what's something kind of new and refreshing. So we tried to think more of what the car would stand for. So we knew we wanted to go with something that was high-end luxury. Originally, we were thinking Great Gatsby, like what's something that would be very elegant on the road. And then we were also trying to think about how we could build the car around the interior. So most of the inspiration of the exterior came from the design language that our interior designer was already working with the concepts that he was built around. So that mixed with very long paneling, elegant design is more of the direction that we went, and then more of problem solving as to with how it was spoken, how we have a nighttime and daytime versions of the car and how it lowers into the car. How can we provide different daylight openings and what's available and what parts of the spaces can we do that in? So then you can see on the face of the car, the black surfacing that allows for a transparent opening to see more of the daylight come through, even when it's in a nighttime mode and different things like that. So the design of the exterior was more built around, what problems are arising with the concept that we have, how can we solve those solutions, and then how can we also give the feeling of luxury and elegance on the road.
Yeah, and I also want to mention that Volkswagen Group is not just the Volkswagen, it also includes a lot of brands, and we can also add our own small details to it. That's the main idea of our exterior, something new and something fresh.
Okay. Thank you.
I'd like to make a couple of comments.
Putting technology in spaces. What's your take on the integration of technology in space like this? To Nicole.
Oh, it's me. I think it's interesting on the interior that it's geared towards people working. It does feel a little bit separated, like if they wanted to collaborate, I don't know, it just this space seems kind of blocked off. I did like a lot of the material innovation that for the backrest and things like that I saw on the interior space. Would note it looks a little crammed. Like I'd like to see a full-scale mock-up and sit in it and see if you actually feel comfortable inside. Just could be a bit awkward. It looks like there's not a lot of space for feet. I like the LED lighting kind of coming through the wood and bringing natural materials into the car. So I appreciated those elements.
Yeah, just to respond to that comment, it was a big
thing to think about throughout the project, having this like big divider in the middle of the car and sort of taking up a lot of space. We did explore having maybe a fabric that could completely sort of hide away and that divider completely sort of being gone. But we really wanted to make it predominantly to explore really separating the two environments, because if you're in a business call and someone else is also on the business call, I'm sure it's happened to you in the same room, you really have to be sort of secluded so you're not sort of talking over each other. So that's why we chose that. But I do have VR experiences that show you how much space there actually is there. It does give you a lot more sense of what the space is.
Yeah. It does look like it could be hard on people that are claustrophobic because everything feels really close.
Yeah.
But that'd be interesting to see in VR.
Andy?
Can you also tell about this comment? So we have an open rooftop for that reason. In this case, you won't feel claustrophobic or something. Like if you feel that there is not enough space, you can always hide like the top and open the roof and enjoy the sun and enjoy the air.
Now to the reigning Mr. Brisbane, Mark Bollock.
Ex-Brisbane. Yeah, no, there's a really good idea here that I think you know, you can flush out. I agree with a lot of the design comments that the panel has said, but I want to talk a little bit about you know, this is kind of a business model. There's a ton of people fleeing California to work elsewhere because we learned from COVID that you don't necessarily have to live where you work anymore. And so that really is creating new demands for transportation, right? Because you know, there are moments where you do have to collaborate and you do have to meet or you do have to travel for business. And you know, one of the things that was really kind of frustrating that I was faced with recently is, well, yeah, my flight is only an hour away, but I'm going to be spending an additional, you know, 4 hours getting to the airport, getting onto the plane, and then once I get off the plane, I got to spend another, you know, couple of hours. And so this seems like a really wonderful way to introduce a new way to travel for business. But think about how we're working differently now in the past year, right? And how you might want to provide this type of service. You know, is it a service like Uber, or is it something that a fairly large size company can have, you know, instead of a charter jet, they can have a charter fleet of these cars? Could be really, really interesting. It seems super relevant now, but I think you need to kind of work through some of that stuff. I don't think it requires a ton of design, but as a part of your final presentation, you might want to consider some of these things. And then, you know, one of the things that I gain from not taking a plane is privacy. And if you've ever been stuck on a plane with your boss, it could be one of the longest flights you ever take, even if it's only 30 minutes. And so the idea that maybe we can caravan a bunch of these things, have these personal travel road experiences, but also have privacy and separation, needs to kind of drive the design of the interior. All of these kind of new things that we need to consider in the last 18 months could totally be applied to what you guys are exploring here. So interesting idea, but kind of work through some of that in the next week before your final is my recommendation.
Yeah, thank you for your comments. Yeah, there's a lot of really good points you made there, specifically like where you started saying that, yeah, there's the main pain point of traveling through airplane. You got to go through the airport and stuff. So that was like the main opportunity for us starting off with this project. But thank you.
Sure.
Awesome. Well, since John's drinking coffee and coffee's for closers.
That's right.
John.
Only one left, folks. It's outreach now. just a reminder to all the judges to do your Google forms before when this one's done. And also I'll put in the chat again, the link to the survey for the People's Choice. So take it away, Outreach. Thanks.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming to our presentation. We are so excited for you to join us. We have worked so hard for the past 15 weeks, and we cannot wait to show you what we created together. My name is David Kim.
Jenny.
Josh.
I'm Janelle.
And we are Team Outreach.
Our tagline is to spark your wanderlust. Our concept is to create a lifestyle for modern nomads. Your vehicle should be as adaptable as you, blurring the line between vehicle and home. You can roll where your heart desires, younger language. Our chosen keywords are integrated, elemental, and unbounded. Keywords are chosen after considering our overall concept, design, and most importantly, experience.
So why do we explore a nomadic experience? Well, there are multiple positive aspects of being a nomad, and having total freedom and control to yourself is one of many. We wanted to give this type of opportunity while keeping it seamless to go beyond the places imagined.
And with the world becoming more stressful to live than ever, traveling has been an increasing trend as it helps to declutter your mind.
First, we dug deep into the histories. We looked into the nomadic Native Americans like the Navajos and Unions, who heavily inspired us.
We realized that creating nomadic experience are limited to no moral in your personal vehicle.
And there are no auto manufacturers who does this as a full experience either. It is up to the third-party companies to chop the current existing vehicles and create their own customization.
Looking at this issue, we created surveys and got 60 responses. And from that, people are looking for a road trip because of flexibility and freedom.
People are also annoyed with lacking of facility and boredom during travel. And the range of electric vehicle is also an issue.
During a trip, users will encounter different environments from flat roads to off-roads in the mountain, even the ocean. So how can we create a solution that gives the users total freedom and control?
Based on these researches, our goal is to create an elevated nomadic experience where the users have total freedom to themselves. It is adaptable to fit their needs and wants based on the environment, locations, and activities.
For our project, we created an adaptable nomadic mobility, lodges for extended stays, and finally, smart and seamless experiences.
The mood board is tailored for clean and simple directions to match Volkswagen's language.
Here's our storyboard. I hope you enjoy it. Aaron has been enjoying the desert area for about a month now. He's thinking maybe it's time to move on. Before he moves to the next area, he is outside exploring the Deuce National Park in Oregon on his mountain bike for one last time. After his biking session, he loads his mountain bike on the back of his outreach vehicle. After that, Aaron is on his way to his next.
Hey, Tracy.
Hi, Aaron. How can I help you?
I feel tired.
Sure. How does relaxing in the beach area with a spa pod sound to you?
Spa sounds amazing, actually. But maybe in a forest?
Of course. How about Lake Tahoe?
Perfect. Let's go.
Great. Here's the overview. You will stop by the Oasis to exchange your pods. Then Lake Tahoe is next. You will be staying at the Outreach Nest.
Right on. Hey, Tracy, what should I do when I get there?
Here are some of the things you could do throughout the day. Would you like to change anything?
That sounds like a fun day. Add them to the plans, please.
Will do.
After stopping by the Oasis to change his pod and chassis, he arrives at the Outreach Nest. After the vehicle finishes docking to the lodge, he walks out through the front door where he steps directly into the house.
The house welcomes him by opening the sliding roof and the couch cover. After that, he uses the house infotainment system to relax and do yoga. To relax even further, he utilizes a spa pod in his vehicle. A couple weeks later, he goes on a kayak ride. He then decides that he wants to move to a different place again. He uses the mobile application while being on the kayak ride to reserve for his next destination. He chooses to go to the Catalina Island with a hammock pod this time. He also invites his friend and his family to that location. After he changes his settings to a marine chassis and the hammock pod, the vehicle is now on its way to the Catalina Island. Later, the vehicle docks with the Outreach Plus, ends this night watching the stars in the galaxy room. It seems like our persona is doing great so far. Moving on to the designs, our vehicle features an exchangeable pod and chassis depending on the user's needs and situations. This also goes along with our original concept as well, which was to create an adaptable nomadic experience. As described before, we were inspired by the nomadic Native American tribes. Many of the inspirations were taken into design cues like the feather lights, being inspired by the Native American footprints. The couch is inspired by the eagle's nest, which symbolizes strength, courage, and wisdom. This is why we named this lodge Outreach Nest, to create a minimalistic and welcoming home for the solo travelers. The lodge also features a retractable roof. This allows maximum natural light and a panoramic view would open up.
Our jobs were to create experiences for everyone. So while Josh focused on a single persona, I created a living space for families. Because of this lodge is called Outreach Plus. The house features a playpen room for kids, a galaxy room for stargazing, a natural marble bathroom, and a living roof terrace. This architecture also features a retractable roof and top window. This is mainly used for galaxy room purpose to not obstruct any views. So our goal is to create a seamless and immersive user experience. Choosing our AI is here to help us. For this project, we create user interface for different platforms. However, we participate in architecture and vehicle and mobile app for Android. Our AI is smart enough to handle any situation and also makes users feel comfortable to give users certain freedom, but it can also recommend possibilities like activity, entertainment, path recommendations based on users' needs and goals. To connect users on the go, we also designed a seamless mobile application that unites overall system. That's because nomads are never limited to just one thing. The three primary functions are including the ordering paths and accessories, exploring nearby sites, and checking the vehicle conditions.
We would like to thank everyone for your time.
Stay safe. Have a great rest of the week.
Okay, thank you very much, Outreach. Any questions for these designers here?
Yeah, Alex here. I think you guys pulled it together pretty well. In the end, we didn't see the last stages for the last week so much, but I think you went on your way, and I think it's done pretty well. I think I also appreciate you to tackle a sort of non-car-like looking vessel, I would say. It's a bit of experimental, but if you're looking at movement of people through space, especially this, I think these two topics are super interesting. One is this sort of going beyond, but not physically going by distance beyond, but going or outreach, but outreaching within the so get to places where you normally couldn't with this amphibic idea. And I think playing that out even more is maybe making more sense versus the normal recreational vehicle kind of goes on the road and then goes a little bit over rocks, a little bit of a mountain up and down, and that's it. You can go beyond this. And I think this is something that you can carry to the not only to the project of the vehicle, but also to the architecture too, like what is kind of limiting you normally. And here I can go beyond, right? I think this kind of thing is what everybody's seeking. Currently, people are seeking to go on adventures, already an adventure on their own, just to see a sort of artificially built hotel next to a national park is for most of the people of us 80% a huge adventure already. Especially the logistics behind it too. When you're showing the map, this is another thing I think that's very good, is this sort of taking that, not range anxiety, but this sort of adventure anxiety for people away by pre-planning the trip for you and looking where you're gonna go. And so you can decide, like, let's say almost like with the pointer or a finger, it's like, I wanna go here, but at the same time you see, if you do this, you have this much time left to do that. So sort of like an interactive planner would be really cool. So what you can kind of, you don't have to go through web pages and Google which hotel, where to go and where to come from. For some people, that's an adventure to find out everything, where's the best location. But I think like a helper assistance that gets you to these places, that it's really good. I would play this out more. And also, again, what I just mentioned, the amphibic properties to be, again, going back to also Shin's and others' comments too, going back to the interior, right? You guys show us a lot of exterior. You wonder about, more of the interior. I would love to see more of the interior, especially because the vehicle is more built like a building almost. It's less automotive inspired, which I think is great. So now it would be nice to see that transitioning into the inside space, not the inside space of the building, but the inside space of the vehicle. It's again a little bit of a mystery zone there with what's going on there. There's such an expressive exterior with the vertical walls, which I, by the way, love. I love this attempt of going against the physics, especially when you deal with electric mobility. Other versions, maybe at some point it wouldn't matter anymore if we have to be aero efficient or not. It's an idea for a student project, certainly interesting. So and then also how core is with the building. I think you're showing that well. I wish I could see more of the interior of the architecture too. Yeah. But getting these prime views that you're showing there, that is really, really cool from the person's experience, from your perspective. How do you see it? Not how you see the product, but how you see the environment. I think this is key here. So yeah, so really good. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. I really appreciate your comments.
Thank you, Alex. Anyone else? Mark, anything? No.
Got one quick question, and it's, I guess I can point it towards this team because it's a good example of it. So, it's very interesting, the experience you're trying to invoke by, choosing a shape that can really extend your interior space through, a translucent material or projection. Likewise in the house, bringing in this room that, you can see through, or that augments what's going on. But I would still say that the form language and design language between, the house and the vehicle are different. Now, working in a multidisciplinary team, you guys communicate a lot and kind of choose, design cues to bring forward and unify the two things together. What are some of the unique design cues between these two things that you guys talked about and brought together to make them cohesive?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So in the beginning of the design process, we actually designed it together. So what we wanted to keep and maintain was that the overall design features and then the overall design language was to be kept simple. Because as you can see right now, we're kind of, even for the vehicle, we're kind of taking the more of an architectural approach rather than a vehicular approach, like the fluid cars that you're seeing nowadays, especially because it is a mobile living space. And because of that, we wanted to relate it to, it's basically a mobile living space. That's what we wanted to do. And like going back to what I originally talked about before in the design process, we sketched together and then see, hey, so like especially in the front view, I don't know if you can see or not. I don't know if I included a view, but the front view for both of the vehicle and in the architecture, both of them are all full glass panels. And we kind of wanted to emphasize that part while having the side surfaces kind of blocked off, or more like a cover space, so that we're kind of keeping the privacy there. But it does not mean you can't completely see outside from the vehicle or anything. So yeah, we just wanted to keep the simplicity of the architectural approach to the vehicle in the architecture. Sorry about the noise outside.
Cool, thanks.
All right, if there are no other questions, judges, a reminder, get in your Google Docs now. Now's your time. get going on those. Also, you can vote on the SurveyMonkey link, which is in the chat. I'll put it in there one last time. Andy, any last words?
Oh man, it's nice to see all these faces that I haven't seen in so long outside of social media and the occasional email. Nicole, I'm looking to you. Be over in a couple weeks. Thanks again for everybody's time. It's been a blast. Can't wait to do it again real soon.
Don't leave though. We're going to announce some winners.
Yeah, don't go anywhere. Where'd Antonio go? I'm sure Antonio has something to say.
Yeah, always.
Hi, everyone. So just want to, again, remind everyone to vote again. And, you know, to our esteemed judges, if you can please submit your judging sheets as well. Overall, though, I'm really proud, you know, of all the work that the students have put in. It's really exciting to see everything come together. And again, what's even more exciting is that next week they have their finals. So I'm looking forward to seeing how, after getting feedback from the industry panel, how they're going to finish off these projects really strong for their class. Now, again, I would like to open up maybe just a few comments from the judges. If they can just, I know you're busy submitting, some of you, but if, again, if we can just get some comments overall on the students' work and what you saw today, that would be great.
Start off real quick.
Oh, go ahead.
I'll take
you
it.
first,
okay.
Reese.
Why not? Okay, so it's really cool to see, you know, the type of deliverables evolve over the years from the spring show. I mean, I remember as a student, and I graduated in 2007, it was a completely different format, completely different deliverables. There wasn't as much cross-pollination between different, you know, different skill sets, different majors. And it really does lend itself to a very compelling product in the end. So my compliments to the students. It was really fun to soak it up and enjoy it. And also thanks to the judges. It's really nice to hear your feedback, and it's very refreshing to hear another side of critique, you know, outside the norms of your team. So thanks.
Thank you, Reese. Any of the other judges like to say a few words?
Yeah, I wanted to say that I'm impressed with the work and the time that you've done it. I know it's really difficult to be a student. We were all there, and it's a tough row to hoe, so to speak. But I really appreciated, for those of you that were individual, the level of effort that you put in to create something unique and compelling. And then for the group teams, I have to say I'm really impressed with how well you all work together to come to in most cases, a pretty cohesive solution. So I really appreciate being here and love to see the work. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll say I also appreciate being able to see this level of collaboration, even as everybody's working remotely in different parts of the world. I know working on physical objects when you're in totally different places, different continents, sometimes even, it's just really challenging. And so I applaud you for the kind of level of collaboration and kind of cohesive stories that the teams were able to bring together. I think the videos are great, and I agree that like kind of stepping up the deliverables and bringing multiple teams together to really execute great content has been probably a key way to manage through this pandemic situation. I think on just general feedback, just the more that you can even get the design thinking in some of the projects to come through. When I look at portfolios, I like to see a lot of process. Like I would like to know where those seeds of the ideas came from that led to the final. And some of the projects showed that, some of them didn't, but that's just my word of advice, is that I looked to how to try to understand a student or potential intern or potential designer for my team, how they think. So just make sure that really comes through in your work when you're showing your portfolios or cleaning up these projects.
Awesome, thank you. And I think that's a really, again, great word of advice. You know, we preach, show us your process. That's really what people are looking for. They want to see how you think. They want to see how you're able to synthesize the research into an actionable product at the end. And I think a lot of times, you know, a lot of times students tend to shy away from that and just want to focus on the end result. And so again, it's great to have you say that to them as well too, because you know after a while we repeat this over and over again, and I think we just become the parent in the room. So thank you so much for providing that insight. And again, you know, it's nice to hear that that's also appreciated from your perspective, wanting to understand again how they're coming at these design conclusions. So we'll make sure again to keep pushing for that. And students, again, listen up. This is something that you definitely want to apply, especially again as you're moving towards next week in your finals. We have Tom, who's going to say a few words for us here, regarding our grand prize for tonight. It is in honor of an awesome gentleman. So Tom, I'll let you say a few words here.
My God, you put me on the spot again, Antonio.
I always do, don't I?
No, it's great to be here to see so many former students of ours that we went through the early stage of our development of the program, and now you guys are here judging it and making great comments and observations. I really appreciate it, how you guys progressed after the school. And, this is what the whole community is all about. And more we get you guys back, our program strength's going to be increased. Like Reese, I haven't seen him for so long. He used to sneak to a Thai restaurant without us knowing it, nearby school and all. But anyway, so it's great to see you guys all together. And Nicole, you always wanted to have a round shape on your design every time you did the project. So your comments on the rectangular shape was kind of interesting to, bring back all the memories for me. Anyway, but all those students, the COVID to do that collaborative project together, we did it in a physical way for a few years. And last 2 semesters, we've been doing this, remotely. And results is as good as any of the physical team. So I'm really proud for the team and the instructors and, and then the sponsor, like this case is Alex, and a Volkswagen did a great job. So I really appreciated that. However, personally, though, I really miss the clay model, as all you guys know. So hopefully this COVID situation is going to come through soon. Now, we're going to soon announcing the Edwin T. Meyer Scholarship Award. I just want to give you a little history. About 2014, I got a call from this lawyer, says, I need to give this money to school. I'm looking for school that I feel, I feel worthy of giving this award. So out of blue, the one guy called me up, and happened to be November. I was going to LA and he was in LA. So we met at the LA Auto Show, next door to LA Auto Show, and then just had a brief conversation. And that ended up with a $250,000 endowment to Academy of Art. He awarded us with that award, and that will yield $10,000 perpetual scholarship for every year. And what he and this particular trust fund called Edwin T. Meyer and the Eleanor L. Meyer Charitable Trust, they are the sponsor of this award. What Edwin Meyer was a tuner, like the AMG of today, but he was tuning Indy race cars and then becoming tuner for Hollywood stars and speedboats and stuff in LA. And he made a fortune and decided that he's going to get this trust to nurture the creativity, innovations, and technological advancement. So that's what we got. So this year, every year we find we choose a theme to award the students' work. And this year we chose the most innovative will be the worthy winner for this award. So we have to wait for the results. But with that, we're going to have our fearless leader and a visionary, that Dr. Stevens, our president, will present the award. But she want to say something to our student, our guest, or will be appreciated. Mute it.
I'm unmuting. Thank you, Tom, so much. You know, I want to congratulate the students, the faculty, and the staff involved in this year's spring show. And you've all made it a great success. And this university is proof that we've overcome all the COVID challenges. And that's because of all of you. And on behalf of the Edwin T. Meyer and Eleanor L. Meyer Charitable Trust, I would like to present the winner of the 6th annual Edwin T. Meyer Scholarship Design Competition. I don't want to jump the gun unless we have a winner. So, Tom, do we have a winner yet, or are we still?
No, we are tabulating that. I had to get Antonio to get onto that one, but yeah.
All right.
But everybody's a winner. I mean, I can't, initially started, oh, this could be a winner, but the next one coming and said, this could be a winner. So we don't know where it's going to go.
Well, and I think, and the judges brought this up, and this has always been my vision. We are the largest art and design university in the country. And what that means is really vast curriculum. We have the most expansive art and design curriculum. And I always believed that we should cross-pollinate and be as assertive about it and persevere in working together so that the students' portfolios could be as strong as possible in all ways. And the stronger the student portfolios are, then of course, that gives them a huge advantage in the marketplace to get the job that they dream of. And so, Tom, you've been wonderful. Antonio's been wonderful. Mark's been wonderful in working with other departments, and the other departments have embraced you. And we are doing this across the university. I think it sets us apart. And I think it makes the students' portfolios a lot stronger. And it gives them real life experience to work with each other and remotely. And it's never easy to work as a team. And you sacrifice in order to do so. But that's really the lesson in life. So I'm very happy to see that the work shows that cross-pollination and collaboration, because it's only going to make the work better. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. So, Antonio, we are all been waiting for.
We are waiting anxiously as well, too. If you can just be patient with us. We're working on the back end here in the system to try to get these numbers crunched and get back to you. I shall be back hopefully within about 2 or 3 minutes. For now, though, again, just as an open forum, I know students, a lot of you are, again, anxious to even ask a few questions to our panelists. So this would be a perfect time to do so. I have everyone in gallery view. So again, if you have any specific questions that you've been wanting to ask to some of our, again, esteemed judges who are not only working again in the industry, but a lot of them a few years ago were in your shoes. I mean, a lot of them are alumni from our university. So it'd be great to get their perspective. But we also have, a few designers who've gone through different systems and also, our experience, how we run our curriculum. As President Stevens said, we're trying to be more collaborative, moving forward, and we really feel that that's the future of art and design education. So again, students, I encourage you all, ask some questions, give us a little time, and we'll be right back. The moment you've been waiting for. I do have an announcement on, we have an announcement on the best product design. That award goes to Elon Hawkins and Extreme Adapt. Congratulations, Elon. Woo! I needed an air horn. And then Tom will announce the best transportation design winner.
Is that right?
Tom, you have it on your phone.
Yeah, I got it. It's a Volkswagen Group outreach for the best transportation design.
Thank you, guys.
Congratulations. And the big winners for tonight, President Stevens. Actually, I'm going to send you an update.
Oh, okay. Oh my.
Check your phone.
Oh God. Okay.
Here it comes.
How
fresh off the presses.
Oh, did it change? Okay. Okay.
It
Is that okay?
This is up to the minute.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So the last
text that you just got.
No, I just got this is for the big kahuna. This year, the $10,000 scholarship is awarded to the most innovative design from all the projects in the spring show. And the winner is the VW Urban Cowboy.
Congratulations.
Thank you all so much.
Beat that air horn.
Thank you all. Thank you so much.
You guys, awesome work. Now, I know we are all anxious for the People's Choice. The People's Choice is going to have to wait a little longer. We got an overwhelming response from everyone, so we're really excited about that. We will be doing some tabulating and announcing that probably after a little bit after the show, if not tomorrow morning. Keep a little hope for everyone else. But overall, congratulations to the winners today. Again, I can't thank all of you enough for all of the hard work that you have put into this semester's projects. I really appreciate all the effort that you guys all put in. And I'm as excited as all of you, again, to announce the winners. President Stevens, thank you so much again for making time to come and watch some of the student work from our department. And to our judges, thank you so much again. We look forward to engaging and continuing to engage with you all. And hopefully, again, we're able to get some of our students into your studios. One of the things that's been great this semester is we have a nice large cohort of students who've already have signed on for their summer internships. Some students who are graduating that have already landed positions at various studios. So again, with all hard work comes a nice payoff. And today, again, couldn't have showed it any better. So thank you all for everything and all your efforts this semester. And again, to my faculty, to our IND team, you guys always rock. I know we always get ourselves into these awesome adventures. I really appreciate all your support. Again, overall, this continues. Remember, this is just a step. We still continue to evolve. We still continue to improve our designs. Don't feel like today there's a finality to it. There isn't. We keep going. That's the awesome part about being a designer. We can always look around and think, how can we make it better? So any other words from anyone on the panelists, judges, students?
I'd also like to say, as an instructor for the Delve project, I thought the students worked really hard, and I was really proud of them. And but they really nailed the process part, and I feel like that's a testament to the school and the training that they had before they came into this class, as well as I had a good time with teaching a sponsored class with Delve. It was really fun working with Matt and having the opportunity to use him as a sounding board. At times he felt like a teacher's assistant. Other times he felt like a director, and he was leading the way. And so it was a great relationship and collaborative all around. So thank you.
Thank you, Alex.
Thanks, Alex.
Yeah, and I want to say a big shout out to everyone on the VW team. Just incredible work, incredible dedication. You worked so well together, overcoming, like we've heard, all the impediments, not being together in a studio, and working all hours to really do your very, very best work. So I am just so proud of all of you. So thank you. It means so much to me, and I know Antonio and Claudia, the dedication that you put towards the final finish line. So thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, and Alex and team, again, thank you for bringing this awesome collaborative project to us. We're really excited to showcase the work more in depth on Monday. Believe it or not, the students are getting back on their horse and making a lot of adjustments that we talked about today. And, we hope to give you some awesome pieces come Monday. So we're really excited to show the final work to you then. Anyone else? Any other words?
Yeah, I want to hear from Catherine. From
Kathleen.
Hi. Put me on the spot, Tom.
We do that to each other. Welcome to the club.
I just want to echo everything that you've said. Everyone is saying it's just incredible to see how much work the students have done over the course of the weeks, and the instructors. I know it's a lot. So I'm really inspired and happy to see a lot of the process evident in your work today. And the presentations were so exciting and well done and pulled me in. So I just want to comment on that part as well. It was really, you can see the amount of effort and passion you put in. So thank you.
Now, the reason I put you on the spot is I really wanted to thank you officially in this venue. Thank you for continuing support to bring in students to that collaborative project.
Yeah,
it's a great part of our success. So
I should be thanking you. We should be thanking you. It's a gift to our students and their experience. So the pleasure is all ours. Thank you.
I want to also take a moment to thank NASA Ames Research from Mountain View. They always keep their cameras off. They're very modest, but Maria, Trey, Terry Fong, and Jose, thank you. They have reviewed our students 3 times already and always give up their Friday evenings to review their work. And I just want to say this is the fourth time that NASA sponsored a project for us. And for those of you, designing for outer space is a whole different deal. I mean, there's no gravity. It's everything you're assuming down here on Earth doesn't work up there. So it's a real challenge for the students to learn something new. So thank you, NASA.
Yeah, I just wanted to say congratulations to the NASA teams, because they did a really great job of talking to engineers, and we kept pulling them back into reality, and they dealt with it and came up with some really great ideas.
Well, thank you, Maria, again for giving up your Fridays and spending time again with our students. I'm actually really excited to see the presentations next Friday to you all, because I know we had to edit some of the projects because of timing issues, as you all saw. Had a lot of great projects, and then also just again with the feedback. But again, you have some awesome presentations coming your way this Friday, and I really look forward to visiting then and seeing the final presentations from the students. So thank you again for continuing to support us, and we always look forward to continuing that and hopefully again growing out these endeavors that we have. Just so you all know too, our game development department is actually working on NASA projects as well that we've worked on together, but now they've evolved it into something else with Maria, Trey, Jose, and Terry and their group. And so we're really excited to see what's going to come out of that. Their presentation, I believe, to you is tomorrow, but I know we're going to continue working on that. So fruitful, again, collaboration. We always love working with NASA. I always say we're all space cadets at heart. So again, couldn't be happier. Alex, I know you had a few words to say.
Just very quick. Don't want to hold up you guys too long because it's getting late. But just want to point out for those of you of the students that may now think, okay, I didn't win any prize or anything like that. It's really difficult because it's a voting process, right? And it's kind of like the overall message that we get across. So I think a big lesson learned here is teamwork, right? Teamwork goes a long way in how to communicate the stories. No matter if you have maybe in some of the other projects that were along the way had maybe some better designs or maybe had some better this and better that. definitely yes. And that's what makes it so difficult. I even myself had a situation where it's like, okay, is it this or that? Can I send both? No, I can only send one. Luckily, in the end, it turned out being both of them being acknowledged for it. In the end, I was lucky. So we are on the same page. But there was so much good work also from the other students' projects inside of those projects, especially the NASA project and also the projects that you guys worked on before, and also the individual projects too, that are a little bit in a difficult situation because they have a single project from a single person. But this team image shows off a lot, right? And it's very powerful, and you can most likely see it now with this. So again, don't be discouraged. Take what you've seen from our comments, from the learnings, and feel encouraged to push forward. Push always forward. It's never too late. You are all in a very good shape. You need to just keep pushing. So and I think that's very motivating. I wish I could be in those days again. It's like 25 years, not 20 years ago now, but it's there's so much freedom. It's so much fun, you know.
And no sleep. Awesome, awesome. Well, any final comments? Any takers? Fred, I see you there. I'm putting you on the spot.
I'm here.
Your students did awesome work again, by the way. I mean, I hope you saw in today's presentations, and I really hope you're proud of them.
It's amazing work. Just congratulations to all the students, whether they win anything or not. It's having this experience is something that I wish I would have had when I went to college. It's something that I think you guys should. No matter if you want something or not, you should take it as a really good experience. And definitely thank you to Antonio and Claudia and Tom for the opportunity for us to collaborate with you guys on this. The work we see in the portfolios, the collaboration and the work we see in students' portfolios is 1,000 times better because of this. So.
Thank you, Fred. Awesome to hear. All right, well, we won't hold you up. We know it's dinner time. Thank you all again for taking the time tonight. Judges, again, special thank you to all of you, and the students especially. I know we've been up a long time. Let's keep pushing, though. We can get some awesome projects to submit for next week, everyone. So with that said, good night, everyone. Thank you so much for coming tonight to our spring show. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Antonio.
Thank you.
Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you.